number 121. It is the holiday edition of Clash of the Podcast. I am Conrad Cushman, representing Everything Pro Wrestling. He, right next to me, is Sean Hubbard, representing Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. He is the man with the cross, the legit boss, Sean Hubbard.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
You like that? And we are Clash of the Podcast. We're going to be talking a little WrestleMania and what's going on in the world of pro wrestling today. Some good, some bad, some drama. We're also going to be doing a preview and prediction show as best we can for Worlds End over here on EPW. I don't know if we're going to do a review. Can't promise that yet. I would like to. If Sean's available, maybe we can work something out. We'll see, though. What else do we have here? Am I missing anything else?
Because I'm telling you something right now, bro. You do a World's End post-game show, it's going to be a celebration because that's my last day on my current job, the day before.
All right, pop the bottles. Let's get it. Other than that, Sean, I think I'm
saying this before we get into the regular line. I'm saying this. Conrad is the best in the business. The best in the business. One of the most amazingly prepared gentlemen. My friend. Love that guy. Conrad, drop that thing.
What up? First and foremost, Sean, can I have less than 2 minutes of the show to share something that someone gifted me?
Yes, sir.
Big shout out to Casey. Me and Casey have been friends for years and years and years. And Casey always finds a way to get me something different, something he knows that I'm into. We were talking Superman trailer, and he was like, hey, man, I got you something. So I wanted to share it with all of you. It's going to pop up on the screen here. If you can't hear it, please let me know.
What's going on? This is former WWE superstar D'Lo Brown, and you know what? Arguably the greatest European champ of all time. And I'm here to talk to CJ. What up, dog? I hear you're a wrestling aficionado, and not only do you have extensive knowledge about the world of professional wrestling and the history of wrestling, you host your own podcast. I'd like to hear more about this podcast. In fact, at some point, I'd like to be on this podcast. So, CJ, your wrestling acumen, I give all the props in the world to. Reach out. Let's get together. Maybe D'Lo Brown can lend his voice to CJ's podcast. Now, with that being said, CJ, I know you're a man who knows wrestling. I know you're a man who knows the history, but you're not a man that knows D'Lo Brown. So CJ, when I get you this week in the ring, I'm going to kick your teeth down your throat, and you better recognize just who the hell I am. Believe that.
How dare he say he's going to beat me, number one? All right. But D'Lo Brown showing some love, man. I did not expect that. So wonderful thing. Maybe we can try to get D'Lo to come on for an episode.
As a man of faith, I do not believe in the word coincidence. I'm not going to preach to you guys. I do not believe in the word coincidence. I believe everything happens for a reason. It is no coincidence that I was just talking about Conrad's pristine ability to be prepared, his passion, and the way he comes across as a massively, massively decorated and honorable professional. And I didn't know he was going to drop that. So I had no idea that soundbite even existed with D'Lo Brown. So that is not a coincidence. It ties into exactly what I've been saying. The EPW brand has been prominent for a very long time, longer than Hubbard Wrestling Weekly by leaps and bounds. Conrad, I salute you, brother. And I've said it privately, so you know I'm not BSing. I want you to be the biggest in the world at this, bro. And I am super proud of you.
I appreciate that, Hub. Appreciate that. Like I said, I think D'Lo. We might have to try to get D'Lo on here. I may have to try to see if Derek can come through early that day. We'll get some questions for D'Lo, or I don't know. We'll figure out something. Whatever D'Lo wants to do, Mr. Brown, you let me know. All right, I haven't reached out to him yet. It's the holiday season. Let D'Lo enjoy life a little bit here. Clown, first one in the building, says evening or afternoon. Good day.
Tweezy, 1 3 4 tweezy.
Sir Quills,
Quilly.
go ahead. You want this one?
Absolutely. He says, what's up, Conrad, Sean, and chat? Your boy, Sir Quills, a.k.a. Quilly, is back again to enjoy two of my favorite bros, Hubbs and CJ, for episode 121 of the best wrestling podcast out today, Clash of the By God podcast. Hashtag EPW, hashtag HWW, hashtag thank you, Sir Quilly. We appreciate you. He goes on to say this should be another dope show, like always, especially in regard to the topic at hand tonight. So I'm quite intrigued to hear what everyone has to say. We appreciate you, and we're interested in what you have to say as well, big dog.
Ray Thompson
in the building, absolutely. Beautiful family. I always like to give him a shout out. So active. Some of the people I interact with on social media is more prominent on Instagram. With Ray, it's more prominent on Facebook. He says, happy Monday, guys. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We hope you and your beautiful family had a great weekend as well, Ray. M. Leezy Faux Cheesy. Hello, good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a good weekend. Let's kick this holiday week off right with the two aces of our pro wrestling community. M. Leezy, not only for your interaction and participation on Monday nights, but your continued interaction and participation on our social media channels. We appreciate you. And he goes on to say, I had a blast at AEW Collision at the Hammerstein Ballroom, an incredible night. I know you had a good time, bro, and you deserve it. I'm glad it was great because it looked great on television.
Vinny,
the only Vinny we like,
says happy Monday, early Merry Christmas. God bless y'all. Mondays are always fun talking wrestling with you guys. Hope everyone had a great Christmas or has a great Christmas.
Yes, right, a great Christmas. Yes, don't rush us wrong, Connor.
Listen, I'm trying to get through this.
I want to. Can we take down the graphic for 1 second? I want to give a big shout out to my parents. They are both under the weather, and it's really unfortunate because it's holiday season, and we're all really kind of hoping that they kind of like get well before. It's just a cold, but husband and wife, they're in each other's faces, right? Husband and wife, so they're both sick. I love you, mom and dad. Please get healthy. So we can all be together for the holidays. I love you.
Prayers up. Joel says, evening, guys. Looking forward to World's End on Saturday. Me as well, Joel. Me as well. We're going to do a little preview rundown for it. It is available on Triller TV. I'm trying to think of where else. Pay-per-view.
It doesn't matter. As long as it's on Triller, it's all that matters.
Right. Go watch it is what we're saying. And we're going to do a rundown of everything with it. I'm interested to hear it, man, because I've went back and listened to since they started this pay-per-view. And I think Sean seems like he's not a fan of this show usually.
Not as much as I would like to be. Big shout out to Joel, a big friend of the show. We appreciate you. And Vinny, the only Vinny we like. Very, very strong personality and honorable man. We appreciate you.
Yep. Ray's also pumped for the pay-per-view. Appreciate you. Gabe Bradley in the house. He said, yo, hope everyone has a great holiday. Appreciate you, Gabe.
Gabe, we appreciate you. And I just want to say for the record, guys, I am pumped for World's End, the pay-per-view, not for World's End. Just want to clarify. For anybody who is biblical like I am. Everybody's like, I can't wait for World's End. World's End pay-per-view. World's End AEW pay-per-view.
We didn't say apocalypse. We didn't say any of that. No. I was at the first Rampage. It was a good run. I hear you, B-Boy. We're going to talk about some of that news as well. Matt, how was the ballroom? Was there Time Cop? Yes, there was. Someone gifted Tony Khan a Time Cop DVD I saw on social media. E says, hey, yo. And yes, they confirmed that. McKinney's here. Yo, I'm here to talk wrestling with the Fire Live chat. And left and right fist of wrestling justice Clash of the podcast. Let y'all know Christmas is here to spread some cheer. It's free.
Amen. Let's
freaking go.
There you go.
XG Dub in the house. Appreciate you, family. Thank you.
Weezy.
Yeah, they should use the Hammerstein Ballroom. 3 sellouts should be an indication. They definitely should, even when they get back to it. People saying rip CJ's getting that sky high and low down. Shut up, E. He is my favorite to use on No Mercy in WrestleMania, though. D-Lo. Yes, that's awesome, D-Lo. Yep. Thank you. That was pretty cool. Thank you. You looking at the real deal now. Head shaking. D-Lo was one of my favorites back then. I heard someone recently say like the Attitude Era didn't have all these good wrestlers. Yes, they did. They just didn't get to showcase it in 20 to 30-minute matches. They said you got 7 minutes. Have fun. You could see it, though.
My guy, Derek, just want to say that right quick.
Hello, Derek. Hello. Hands down one of the coolest moments thus far in Clash. Thank you. Thank you, Quills. T-Ferg. What up, fellas? I enjoyed most of AEW last week. They need to use smaller, well-lit venues for 2025.
Amen.
Sounds like it's the plan. Fellas, my girlfriend's birthday is on Christmas Day. There you go. Look at that. One gift, 2 for 1, man. 2 for 1. There you go.
This is a weird episode in the best possible way. First of all, happy early birthday to your lady, Vinny. Can I share some encouraging words to the people? I got something on my heart, bro. I just want to let everybody know, man, like, especially during this time of year, you know, I again, I'm not going to preach to you guys, but I just want you guys to know that life is going to throw you curveballs. And thank you, Emily Z. Life is going to throw you curveballs, and there are going to be times in your life where you really feel like in these 50-50 chances, like it could go either way, that it seems like you're always getting the short end of the stick. I just want you to know, man, brighter days are ahead. And it doesn't matter what the situation looks like, or it doesn't matter how you feel in the current moment. Your comeuppance in a good way is coming. So, you know, I just want to encourage somebody. I don't know if there's somebody here that might be having a day where they feel like, or a week or a month, God forbid, that like it's like, oh, you know what? Nothing seems to be going my way. I'm stressing. You know, I'm kind of like a prisoner in my own mind because I got all these thoughts going back and forth, all these negative things. I just want you to know your good day is coming, man. So I pray that anybody who's struggling with that or having a bad day or a bad week or whatever, just be encouraged, because wonderful things are ahead of you in 2025. I believe that for me, I believe that for Conrad, and I believe that for everybody within the sound of my voice, whether you're listening to it live or on delay. God bless you.
Shout out to Derek in the chat, though. I did put up his comment. D Money's also in the house. What's good, D Money? If you guys like battle raps, make sure you check out Viral Money. He hosts a lot of battle raps as well. Check out his channel. D-Lo had the gear he wore with Chaz and No Mercy, and they included Chaz and Mosh's parts. Didn't need to gamble in my faction either. Those were the good old days, E. Not so much anymore. I wish. And Vinny says thanks, Hubs. Yes, that was good words from Hubs. Good words. Now, if I mess up for the graphics tonight, I want you guys to know there was an update to StreamYard. So everything's not in the one spot anymore. I don't know if you can see that too, Sean. So they put style, and now they have a new one called Media Assets, which will have all the photos. Mm-hmm. Very weird. Let's start off here. We're going to start off with some womp kind of news here. But actually, no, we're not. We're going to, before I get into that, I want to promote this real quick. Make sure you guys are going to check out Wrestle Kingdom. If you're trying to see New Japan, if you haven't watched in a year or two, you know, I've heard it went cold. This might be the time to try to get back into it so you're all caught up. Card looks phenomenal. Kenny Omega, Gabe Kidd, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ricochet, Mina Shirakawa, Mercedes Moné. You got a lot of good matches. You got Konosuke Takeshita's on the card, Jack Perry, Brody King, David Finlay, the Young Bucks, Claudio Castagnoli, Shota Umino. We have a four-way match. Winner gets a title shot at a championship of their choosing at a later date between AEW, Ring of Honor, Stardom, and CMLL. You got a Luchador Gauntlet. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And then the next night, you're also going to get, this is not what I wanted. What did I do with that? I might have gotten rid of it. It doesn't matter. Wrestle Dynasty's happening, and you got Wrestle Kingdom the night before that. So make sure you guys are checking out those shows. Wrestle Kingdom's on 1/4, Wrestle Dynasty 1/5. If you're interested, if you got the time, I say check it out.
For anyone who has been living under a rock for the past 20 years, who doesn't understand that Kenny Omega being an active professional wrestler makes wrestling better, then I need you to wake up and come from under that rock. Thank God Kenny Omega is back. First and foremost, thankful that he's healthy. Secondly, thankful he's back in the ring. Wrestling is better when Kenny Omega is active. And wrestling's better when Jocelyn's in a building. She says happy holidays to everybody. Wrapping up last minute gifts, sparkling juice, and a calendar. And I want to shout out her tag because we know her as Jocelyn, but you should know her as JJ_Rent.
Yes, tomorrow we'll start my annual tradition. I probably will share DMX doing all of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and then I will post Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis, just because we can't have that. No, I love that DMX was like, oh, you guys didn't think I knew? All you ladies pop, yo, this, shake your body, don't stop.
Let's go.
Definitely used to get in trouble in the lunchroom back in the day for singing that. Hey, guys, cut it out now. Cut it out. Oh, sorry. Just do it. Let me see. Coda uploaded some vids on IG. Looks like in exhibition kickboxing MMA. We're eating in 2025. Nice. I'm glad Kota Ibushi's getting healthy, man. I just hope he's all right with everything.
Yo, Easy E, hit me on Twitter after this, bro. I got to ask you a question.
Nick Nemeth. Joe Hendry, Genesis, 119.25. It's going to be on pay-per-view. I also assume Triller TV as well. I don't promote TNA. I'm just putting it out there so you guys can see it before we get into the news. Me and Sean are about to bulldoze this episode. I almost did the Armando Estrada, the Samoan bulldozer.
Bulldozer.
Speaking of dozers, Lee Fitting. He may be who you see all the time. Hashtag credit boys at the end of every single show with Paul Levesque's name right next to him and Shawn Michaels when it's NXT. Lee Fitting is the guy that was hired by WWE after Kevin Dunn left. So he's the reason if you're digging all of the production stuff, that is what's been going on with him. Do you like his stuff, Sean?
It's all right.
Honestly, deep dive into it. Better or?
I mean, it's serviceable. I mean, like I said, it's not. I mean, he's good at what he does. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I don't know how you feel. I mean, when you say deep dive, like I don't think it's really much to deep dive into it. Like he's
way better than what Kevin Dunn.
I mean, no, I don't think it would. That's where we differ. I don't think it's way better than Kevin Dunn. I think it's better. I think there's okay, fair enough. We disagree.
I think if we went back to it, I think I would feel the sickness again. But I like his presentation better of the show. But some disturbing news came out about the
guy. Excerpt from the Athletic. He says, quote, many women at ESPN still believe that if they raise the alarm about Fitting's behavior, it would cost them their careers. And the actual quote says, it's survival, end quote, said one woman, Katie Strang and Andrew Merchant. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy was not part of the quote. That was just me.
Yeah, no, that was opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically Lee Fitting, this is so aggravating on a whole level it comes. And I know someone's going to come in here and say AEW's got something going on similar to this. Yes, no, it's different though. Here's the difference. You just kicked. I'm going to be polite for a second here, even though he doesn't deserve it. Vince McMahon out of your company for allegations of whatever he's being accused of, human trafficking, deplorable behavior, whatever. And no one seems like they're too surprised by this if you've seen the guy or heard the stories about him. But don't you think, Sean, if you were HR and I said, Sean, we want to hire this guy, wouldn't you quadruple check that at that moment? Like, we don't need any problems with any bad stuff with history of, sexual stuff, any harassment allegations. You bring him in of all people, bro.
If there was ever a time where do your due diligence would be applicable, I mean, it's like, come on, man. Like you there has to be some culpability as it relates to not doing your due diligence in this regard. And that's what I think needs to be taken into consideration. It's really unfortunate when you have a situation where you don't do your homework. Like, this is not, like, people make mistakes. I think mistakes should be glossed over. You know what I'm saying? Like, mistakes, like clerical errors or, I'm being facetious when I say that, but clerical errors or, you just stub your toe, whatever the case may be. Stuff like this, it should be vetted. There should be a better vetting process. Like, what is wrong with you guys?
Let me ask you this, too.
Sure.
We've mentioned the connections with Nick Khan and them. Did they not know? Like, how did you not? You know everything. Hashtag Legental activity is a joke, but it's serious, too. Like,
100.
You know everything, bro. You set up stuff. How did you not know this?
How did you not? That's a good question.
Did you either you didn't care, or you're really like, what's the word I want to say? Either you're negligent or you just don't care. Which one is it?
Well, that's the problem. I think in a situation like this, when stuff like this comes out and it's clear that proper vetting was not done, right? It makes you wonder with the previous situations that have taken place, not that one necessarily has to do anything the other, but it is what it is. It makes you wonder if the former is more prominent than the latter. Like, did you just not care? Because you can say it was because of lack of due diligence. You can say it was because of lack of the vetting process, but you're WWE. You're the best in the world at what you do. And your vetting process should be on that level. So if somebody slips, air quote, through the cracks with this kind of background, to me, it's because you don't care. I'll never be able to prove that. Nobody will. But it's like, if that's how it comes across.
Yeah. And Jocelyn put, we are in a time where bad is good and good is bad and turn their heads. It's sad. It shouldn't be that way, though. It really shouldn't. Sean, if you're in a position of power at WWE and they came to you and suggested, what do you do with this guy now? This news came out. What do you do? Because Janelle Grant's attorney's already on it. Like, this is the culture that we have talked about with this. WWE's not off the hook in any of this. I hope people realize this. Like, they are being accused of multiple lawsuits of things from the past.
You have to let him go. You have to let him go. And Conrad, we've talked off the air about subjects such as this. You know that I'm even more than you, and you're a nice guy. You know I'm the last person that wants to take food off of somebody's table. I understand how hard it is to have a job in order to be, but you have to let them go. And if you don't, what does that say about your standards and practices and belief system? That's the bigger question.
Yeah, Clown says if a shot caller in prison can find out everything on you, paperwork, how can WWE not find things out?
But listen to me on this, Conrad, and I know I'm speaking, probably reading your brain too. What exactly does it mean if your belief system is the following? Conrad, no, I'm not going to use you for an example. That would be terrible. I would never, even fictitiously, I wouldn't. Joe Blow is the best in the world at what he does, whatever that profession might be. And that profession that he's the best in the world at, that's what I do. I want him on my team. And he has a rap sheet a mile long. But he's the best in the world at what he does. Are we in a world, similar, piggybacking off of what Jocelyn said, are we in a world right now where you being the best at something circumvents your character and your history in a negative way? Seems to me like it does. It seems to me like if I'm the best whatever in the world, that I can get away with whatever because I'm the best in the world and you need me. That's a problem. That's a problem.
That's also a wrestling problem. Once again, we've done multiple podcasts. I'm going to give it a shout out to the six pack. We've done them. What have I always said? This behavior has been fostered for years. Hulk Hogan did it. Brett wanted some say. Sean, I'm going to act a fool today because this is, you act a fool all the time. Now I'm about to act a fool. And the wrestler's always the crazy one, not the office.
Right.
And how does it look now? Yeah, I think how hard is it to find someone that's not a piece of garbage? And I think it's true what you said too. Like, I don't like taking food off of anyone's plate either. And I usually tell people they took it off their own plate, but that's another subject for another time. If you I'm
not going to put you on blast, and there's nothing really to put you on blast for, Conrad. So that's probably the wrong way to put it. I know whatever about how you feed your family. Mm-hmm. You're a good man. But also, certain things need to be done. So it's kind of a slippery. It's kind of like you have to navigate, right?
Yeah.
But a moral compass is people like you fall back on first. See, people like what we're talking about, it seems to me like the moral compass comes second.
And sometimes it's bigger too, depending on the company and what you're doing in that said company for what you have to do. Because sometimes it ain't my choice, it's someone else's choice. And I can totally disagree with it, but guess what? I'm just the middle person.
Touché.
So you know what? There, have it your way.
Touché.
Just remember, when it comes back to haunt you, don't come saying, "Oh, he told me." No, I didn't tell you anything. Better tell the truth. So, and same thing here. If Lee Fitting would have came out in the beginning and said, "I was removed from ESPN for allegations of boop 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 boop. I apologize to those that I affected. If I made anyone feel bad, I'm here in WWE now. I want to get started on the right track." That would be different than what happened here. There were no apologies. There were no love and anything else. And that's what we ended up getting. And I'll just say this. I know a lot of people know the history of what's been going on in the world with WWE, right? Like Conrad knows, he's been here for a while. And I'm trying to tell you guys, these are things to pay attention to. This is what could get them in trouble. And I don't know when, I don't know how, when people are going to start taking this stuff seriously, but that's the move that we need to make in restoring this feeling of, I feel good about working at WWE. There has to be a change in culture, and that doesn't happen so quickly. It happens over time. Like, it takes a while to do something like that. That's my TED talk. Like, culture doesn't happen right away, but guess what? With this situation, everything with Vince McMahon, since we started this podcast, like that was like our preliminary like test to see how this would work.
Right.
It was the Vince McMahon stuff. Guess what, guys? I still feel like we haven't learned and we haven't progressed fast enough. Nick Khan's been accused of being involved in this. Are you going to remove him? Dana White has done questionable things. Right before, what's the slap league? Power Slap came out. And you're seen doing that on camera and you didn't remove this guy? What are we doing, Ari? What is this? I just question a lot of it. And I know someone might come in here and say, and Sean knows what I'm talking about, like, don't get into too much of the political stuff. No, this matters.
It does matter.
This matters.
It does. It really does. And, if you want to keep shying away from it, that's why, look, we're going to tackle the tough issues. We're going to be fair, but we're going to be honest and talk about it. And I would like to think that's what our listeners appreciate.
Right. And what kind of investigation did they do if they see if Vince harassed people currently on staff? Yeah. He's a good earner. Yep. WWE hired Gable Steveson with his pass.
And I have a theory, and it's just a theory. No proof behind it, but I have a theory, and I think it's solid. I think what they do is they hire people knowing their past, hoping that nobody else knows. Like, you know what, maybe this will slip through the cracks. And then once it comes out, then they have to make a decision from there.
I think the pro wrestling world used to get away with it, Sean, but I think more people pay attention now. Things are going to become news at the very beginning. I don't know. That's how I feel about it, at least.
That's a sound assessment on your part.
I didn't know all that stuff with like Jimmy Snuka happened back in the day. And here we are now. You know what I mean? So
your acronym as it relates to the business world and the professional wrestling world is solid, just like mine is. And I think at the end of the day, no problem, Jesse. We're just glad to have you here, man. At the end of the day, there's certain things that are just going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? There's certain things that are going to be looked at as something that takes precedent, and there's things that are going to be pushed to the back burner. And I believe that certain business practices or certain companies look at things like this and they say, you know what? Let's just ride it for as long as we can. Because at the end of the day, what difference does it make, Conrad? You got to think about it like this. At the end of the day, if you take somebody on as an employee who has a sketchy past and nobody ever finds out about it, you let them rock. If other people find out about it, you cut them loose. It's a win-win. It's a shady, underhanded win-win. But how does WWE lose in this situation? They don't.
Because what is their business practice? We tell the stories. We manipulate. They want to manipulate the story any way that they can. Prime example. You know what? I don't even want to get into it really. I guess I could. Saturday night's main event ratings, right?
Bad.
No, I wouldn't say bad.
Well, not as much as expected.
What they wanted, right?
Right.
So, without getting too deep into it, they wanted a 1.5, but all the press releases came out and said it was 2.3. From what? Oh, that's with the Peacock numbers. Okay, how do we know? Like, what were the numbers like? People who watched at least 10 seconds? Was it someone who has Peacock that night and logged in? Was it I watched for a second, so it counts? They didn't tell us that part of it. So what does it mean?
As I take my drink from an extremely weird angle to cover the logo.
We are available for sponsorships. Please send your emails to at epwshow@gmail.com and hubbardwrestlingweekly@gmail.com.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. I don't want to bag on, and I don't think it was a bad rating for them. Like, people saying it was bad, I'm like, it wasn't bad. Like, good for them. You're gonna be surprised. Put on Mama's Family and tell me what that gets you today. You know, like, just go watch some of that other stuff. It's not, everything's not doing well. The NBA's not doing well.
Talk your talk, bro. That's true.
Moving on. Sean Ross Sapp posted something and it got my noodle moving here.
What?
Got my noodle moving, my brain.
Okay, well, thanks for clarifying. Jesus.
if you were thinking that way, your mind's in the gutter.
I mean, Lord have mercy. That was terrible, but I'm glad you broke it down for me.
See how you could twist that narrative.
Lord, that was rough, man. I was like, what that? No, I'm just playing. Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns has been discussed internally as a WWE WrestleMania 41 match. Fightful Select has learned. So it got me thinking.
What leads us into this conversation? Exactly.
Yeah. And we want to go through and kind of just talk about the stories for multiple people going into WrestleMania. And I don't think there's a better place to start better than the Bloodline, Sean. What do you foresee for this? Like, is Rock on WrestleMania? Is Roman? What's Heyman doing? Yo, please stop right now.
Sorry.
Right now.
I just can't help it. It's just, and I do it the Jey Uso way. There's two ways to do it, right, guys? Chat, let me know if I'm wrong. There's two ways to do it, like this, or for some reason Jay kind of like does it in sections. No, but oh God, right? Shout out to The Rock. To me, there's no Okay, you want to set this up for me, Conrad? Like, what are we doing?
You take it wherever you want. Take it through the Rumble. What do you think these guys should be doing at this point?
Okay,
because it feels like everything's on the table for everyone who talks like they know what they're doing already. It sounds like they don't know what they're doing yet.
Okay, there are two people who I believe should win the Royal Rumble: Jey Uso, which is never going to happen, and I know this might sound a little messed up, Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch should be one of those special returns that come back and win. And I believe, and I would think it would be awesome if she returned as a heel. Okay. Now, obviously the Jey Uso, I'm coming straight from here with that. Do I think it's completely unrealistic? No, but it's not going to happen. So if you're going to be realistic, honestly, I think that Roman Reigns should win the Royal Rumble. And I think that Rock should beat Cody along the way. And I think it should be Rock and Roman for the title at WrestleMania. That's the marquee match. That's the main event. That's what we've been wanting all this time. Rock doesn't have a lot of time left as far as wrestling is concerned. Just do it. Just pull the figurative trigger. Why are we overthinking this thing? Okay.
I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
So, do you believe Rock's wrestling on this show? In your heart of hearts right now, does Sean...
The Royal Rumble?
No. Is Rock showing up to WrestleMania?
Yes.
In a match?
Yes, he'll be there. Yes.
Okay.
I think the go ahead, Con. You have something you want to double back on. Go ahead.
No, it was just more so how Rock's been rumored not to be showing up. That's kind of the thing. Rock did say recently on Instagram, though, don't believe any of that stuff you hear from Uncle Dave. It sounds like they're feeding him bad information. I hope people have realized this over time. that Dave's the only one that gets stuff wrong because whoever Dave's source is a liar, and they do stuff to mess with Dave. Give him a little bit that's right, then give him enough just to be wrong. And they said they used to laugh about stuff like that. So I don't know. I can't believe in my heart of hearts that The Rock's not showing up. Like, you've invested way too much into this. You told the story last year. You don't just get to squeeze through that story. Like, we moved through that Rock Cody thing. We're not doing that anymore.
And you know what I want to do? I want to take a moment to do something I never do. I always talk about Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble, but I don't. But I also said it's unrealistic, and I want to say that I understand it's unrealistic. I also am saying, Conrad, I'm admitting to you and to all of our wonderful viewers that there is no way, rhyme or reason, how I would think it would make any sense for him to win the Royal Rumble. I just want him to win the Royal Rumble. So I want to thank the chat for not dogging me out when I said that, because I think there's two reasons why, Conrad. And I think there's a reason why you didn't dog me out also. I said Jey Uso, and then I immediately transitioned
into reality.
Into Roman Reigns. Look, CM Punk, Seth Rollins makes sense, but I don't think necessarily for the title. But then again, you have a world heavyweight champion, but it's like, I don't see Gunther losing anytime soon, bro. Anytime soon.
Oh, we're gonna talk about him. I got enough. I got enough for everybody, because if I told y'all who stemmed this segment for who Sean wanted to talk about, you'll be shocked. But that person's in the mix here too. But I want to stick with the bloodline here. So in Sean's perfect world, right? What is the WrestleMania lineup for you then? So you're saying do Rock and Roman. That's what you have to do. There's no room for Punk even involved in this right now. Sean.
Okay. There's plenty of room for Punk, bro. I just think that the marquee matchup of Roman versus Rock is long overdue, and if you're not going to do it this year, it's over, right? So that's why I'm saying that. Of course, there's plenty of room for Punk. Punk versus Roman would be stellar also. Would be marquee.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to blow through multiple matches in one night. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm cashing in my favor. Oh, I'm doing this. Like, hold on here, player. We got time to sell the show. Unless we want to make this feel special, we got time to sell this. Interesting. All right, so let's get into more of what you think other people will be doing. So you've established like that's one of your main events for one of the nights. It's Rock Roman.
My main event for night 2 is Rock Roman, and I think I deserve a little bit of grace here. So I'm going to say 2 matches, but I don't think it's hedging my bet too much, because the alteration is Rock Roman or Rock Roman and Cody. So I think if I get either one of those right, I should be given credit.
Okay. All right. And listen, we're not grading on this just yet.
Right.
We're not here yet. John Cena's coming back. Look at that wig. Woo! He's got you up in there. My man, Big Match John. He will never be in another Royal Rumble again.
He'll never step foot in the state of
John Cena, what do you want to do with him then? Because he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I'm sure that the first episode of Raw on Netflix, he'll be there. He'll probably just declare himself for the Rumble. Maybe he'll be in a match, maybe not. Doesn't really need to be. But they'll be sitting there. They'll be wasting time and going through everything like they usually will. What role do you have for John Cena?
I'm going to say something that might sound a little bit rough. John Cena should never win his 17th World Championship. I have far too much respect for Ric Flair as the wrestler. I have far too much respect for that championship record. If he got 17, would it be the worst thing in the world? No, I just don't think he should do it. I think John Cena should end his career being a Grand Slam champion. And that Grand Slam championship would be the Intercontinental belt. I would love to see him win that. WrestleMania, I believe John Cena is going to face Gunther, and I think he's going to lose to Gunther. That's what I think. I think John Cena Gunther is going to be the main event of night 1, or at least a match on night 1, because you never can tell. Because to me, a Seth CM Punk rematch, Rock Roman, Cody, you have to take into consideration. There's so many people who can main event night 1 or night 2. So not necessarily would Cena versus Gunther be the main event of one of the nights, but I believe Cena and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship will be a match during this weekend. Yes.
So your plan for Gunther is that he will be defending that World Heavyweight Championship against someone.
Again, in my dream world, he'll be defending it and losing it to Jey Uso. But we're being reality based right now, right? So in reality, yes, I think John Cena definitely. He's not going to win the Royal Rumble. He can win the Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
You got to remember,
he'll never walk the streets of Toronto again.
Never again. You get pyro and glitz and glamour and all that stuff for winning the chamber too. They made the chamber just as important as the Royal Rumble. So you win the chamber, you're going to WrestleMania also.
Right. Okay. MJB, welcome too. I see that you're in the stream with us joining. I'm just looking at.
Appreciate you in this dancery.
E says Shibata Dynamite Kid was a noodle mover at the ROH pay-per-view. Hashtag noodle mover is about to get started now. I blame Sean.
Hashtag heels sell tickets.
Roman versus Rock feels less likely, but Roman versus Rock is the end game at some point. I agree with Vinny. MJB's putting up the bloodline. He must have been laughing when you were doing that. How does Camacho Loa do it? He's injured. I don't even know if he's going to be back in time for Mania. This season of WrestleMania made us think we're going one way, and then it looks like it's going in another direction. Vinny does agree that Roman should win the Rumble. Give it to Punk. He needs a Rumble, he says. Okay. I'm not mad with either of those choices. This year's Rumble feels actually a little unpredictable because it's not Cody.
Exactly.
My guess is Cody versus KO at Mania, Pro Wrestler Shoot says. Rock versus Roman at Mania, and Seth versus CM Punk. Okay, interesting. Imagine telling someone over 4 years ago heel Rock would face that babyface Roman without the fans rejecting it. Different times. Hopefully CM Punk uses his favor to bump the Rock out of his match with Roman. Woo.
You got to be real careful with that, McKinney. I like what you're saying, but you have to be real careful with that from a storyline perspective because it would have to be a situation where I guess Roman is not automatically owed a title shot. Because if Roman wins the Royal Rumble, nobody can bump him out of that. And if Roman wins the Chamber, nobody can bump him out of that. But if he just happens to win like a number one contender match, or he just happens to be the number one contender and maybe Paul Heyman slips CM Punk the contract instead of Roman Reigns, that would be pretty dope. But my question would be, doesn't that make CM Punk a heel?
Which it could be trending in that direction as well.
I think it's trending the opposite direction. I think Seth Rollins is going to do some funky stuff on January 6th.
I think you also are trending in the right direction as well. I have a feeling that we're going to see bloodline hunters, we'll call them instead. Because there's a lot of haters right now in these streets, and they are not feeling it. Vinny says, please, the timing. I could just hear 20 minutes of this music. I'd rather see Cena win the WWE Championship if he wins 17.
Okay. I'm not, like I said, Vinny, I'm not mad at it. I just...
Because think about it, Sean. Remember what I just said, controlling the narrative. If you want to erase Ric Flair, if you think he's a disgrace to pro wrestling at this point, which I think some people do.
Some people do.
Yeah, his antics, the things that have come out about him recently, they're like, yo, get rid of Ric Flair, bro.
Right.
That's how you can wash Ric Flair away, and it's kind of like, well, we don't have to mention him as much unless we talk WCW.
I just, and this is me being a hater. Wow, did Sean just admit that? Yeah, it's me being a hater. Like,
join Derek here because you saw what he said for Cena. Send him on his way.
Hey, Derek and I, we're pretty much on the same. I mean, John Cena being the record holder. I mean, can't we have Randy Orton do it? That would be better. Let Randy Orton do it.
But they love calling him the greatest of all time, but
he's not. John Cena's not top.
You're missing it. Okay. This is not the narrative they want you to know. Ric Flair ain't coming back all like that.
Right.
He's selling wings and getting bad deals and stuff going on. We don't want that. We want John Cena. He's Hollywood. He'll show up.
I cut myself off when I said John Cena's not. I didn't want to. Not top 7. He's not top 7. I had to cut I was about to say, he's not even top 10. That's not true. But he's not top 7. Anybody who's not top 7 should not hold the record for most world titles.
Why John Cena's loved because he went with everything they wanted to do. I think he didn't politic at all, judging by some of the bad TV. That's why they love him. And I'm not saying that's a good thing for us, because I kind of wish maybe you would stick up for bad stuff that you see happening. If you see something with like a Jey Uso, you're like, hey, boss, maybe you should do something with him. The people are cheering for this guy over me. Tag me up with him too. You know, like if you're the top guy, that's stuff you say, like, yeah. But I don't know.
I need you to humor me. Okay. We're talking about serious stuff, but I need you to humor me. Chat, I need you to humor me. Answer the question with a percentage number. I'm going to throw it out there as logically as I possibly can, even though I know it's not going to happen. And I'm going to give you my own percentage number. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Chat, I need a percentage. Scale of 1 to 100. Conrad, scale of 1 to 100%. How likely is it that Jey Uso will win the Royal Rumble? Before you answer, I'm going to say 25%. You know what? I take it back. I have to alter what I'm saying. Don't answer yet, chat. Okay, thank you, Vinny. Changing the question just a little bit. Likelihood that Jey Uso somehow ends up in a world title match at WrestleMania, no matter how he gets there. 25%.
I'll stick with this is for the Rumble for me, and that's WrestleMania main event for me. I just don't. They haven't shown.
He deserves it. Daggone it.
They gave that title right back to Braun. They're focused on him.
Then he says 10%.
Well, we do. By the way,
0.1. Oh my God. M. Leezy, 48%. God bless you. M. Leezy just did that because M. Leezy's my boy.
Wings.
Tokyo 1%. Oh man.
Listen.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's move on, brother. So, Rock and Roman, CM Punk. You know, I would love to see CM Punk versus Cody.
I think that could happen. I loved their promo last year, the back and forth where Cody was like, I'm more of the voice of the voiceless in the revolution than you ever were. But CM Punk said, but I'm more of the American dream than you ever were. My dad wasn't it. I was like, ooh.
That was smooth.
It was heat. But it's true. Punk never took the chances he always talked about. He said, I'll go to New Japan.
Do we remember that? And I'm saying that facetiously. Do we remember that? That was 14 months ago.
Yeah, I do. That was a good promo.
Okay.
I loved it. T-Ferg, we're going to get to that. And Stephen Chambers, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. I see you in the chat putting in some good comments, man. Cena, Cody, that was a match I thought could happen. I'm second guessing everything. This is why I got Sean in here giving his opinions. I'm just ice grilling Sean a little bit on most of this. And next week, like I said, we're going to have some opinions or predictions that we're going to do next week. I promise you, craziness. And I just did the research on me and Hub's answers from last year. I'm still working on it a little bit, but expect insanity. Hub's the only dude in history who ever guessed AEW will add 8 pay-per-views, and I'm like, bro, how did he know that? And he got it right. Like I said, he won just because of that, like automatic, like triple the points.
You're far too kind, brother. Far too kind.
Let's switch divisions here because someone wanted to mention Bianca. Let's go to Charlotte first. What are we doing with Charlotte Flair upon her return, Sean? You're in the room. They're like, what do you do? I mean, to me, the obvious answer is we go back to Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton's got that.
Do you know how I just said that I want Jey Uso to win the Royal Rumble? And then 2 seconds later, I said that Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble. Clearly, Jey is the pick with my heart, and Roman was the pick with my head. I said Becky's going to win the Royal Rumble. That's the pick with my heart. Charlotte Flair is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Wings. Yeah.
Charlotte Flair, you could almost book it at this point, bro. Chat, book it. Charlotte Flair is going to win the Royal Rumble. And Tiffany Stratton, as a babyface, will be the world champion. And they will face each other at WrestleMania. The only thing we can hope for, don't hope, Conrad. Look at me, Conrad. Look at me. Don't hope that Charlotte doesn't win the Royal Rumble because you're hoping for nothing. All you can hope for at this point, Conrad and chat, all you can hope for, guys, is that Tiffany Stratton wins the match. That's all you can hope for.
At this point,
I wouldn't lock that down either.
Charlotte in the bank. I love that we still say this. Charlotte in the bank can happen at any time. Put the belt on Charlotte. Charlotte's going to unify all the championships, Vinny said.
And it's a shame, too, because it's like, she's going to really win the Royal Rumble. With all these wonderful talented women in WWE, she's going to come out of nowhere, and it's going to be, to me, it's just as bad as when Ronda Rousey won it.
You talking about that year with her and, what was it, Brock?
When Sasha should have won.
Yeah. Don't get me started on Mercedes, because the Mercedes hate's been out of control lately. Like, I'm kind of sick of it. Like, it's not. I told you, there's fair. Promos is fair. No, not you. Promos is fair game, all that other stuff. But saying she's not a good wrestler, I'm not having none of it. Not since All Out. No way. You tell me a bad match. Get out of here.
Not a good wrestler is just factually inaccurate.
Right. And I think people want to put, I hate that there's this pedestal that people want to put her underneath, but I want to stay on WWE here for a second.
And my guy, Derek, real quick, I know you were messing with me with Jey Uso, and I know you were serious about John Cena. The whole thing about Charlotte, my guy, Derek, I'm telling you, book it. Charlotte's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Derek says she gets nothing either. Derek, that ain't happening, brother. Yeah. They love her way too much.
Charlotte, book it. I'm telling you, book it right now. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Charlotte Hogan.
Yeah. Go ahead, Conrad. Talk to me.
Oh, man. No, I'm just setting it up here in my mind. So let's just pair this off. So we think Charlotte Tiffany, right? Seems like it's logical.
Charlotte Tiffany makes a lot of sense to me.
Who's Rhea Ripley's opponent?
Rhea Ripley's probably going to end up facing Liv again.
No. You got to give Rhea this belt, I think.
I'm not saying I'm happy about it. Don't take the fact that they're going to face each other at January 6th as the fact that this is over. I'm telling you, they're going to string this along. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong, Conrad, but I think it's going to string along. And it's for the reason that we talked about. There are no real challengers. As much as I love Io and love Bianca, Bianca's going to face Jade.
You're convinced of that?
I am.
I won't ask you that yet. I'll say that'll probably be for next week, I assume.
Okay.
McKinney says Charlotte doesn't need the Rumble. She has the Charlotte in the bank. She'll get a match before Mania, win, and then face the winner of the Rumble match.
McKinney, my OG. Put McKinney's comment back up there, brother, please. McKinney, book it, brother. I want to be wrong about this. Book it. Charlotte Flair, Conrad, tell him. Charlotte Flair is going to win the Royal Rumble.
She's always been the clear favorite since WrestleMania 32 in my head. It was actually shown too before then, because who was the first? Paige was the first NXT Women's Champ. Was Charlotte second?
Yes.
She won after Paige had to vacate it, right? Same exact scenario here. Like, come on, family. Like, there ain't no way. They showed that they loved her, and then Charlotte had to drop it in a 4-way, like to Mercedes, or Sasha Banks, excuse me, at the time. Then Mercedes lost it to Bayley. Like, I don't know.
And WWE, stop making where the Royal Rumble winner has a feud with the champion. And what I mean by that is, I like that. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I would like that, but I don't believe they haven't shown enough faith in Io as a character right now for me to believe in that. Like, I would love it. I think she deserves it.
And let me clarify my stance, because what I'm saying doesn't really sound logical when I just said it the way I said it. Like, the whole thing with Io and Bayley won the Royal Rumble, so they had to set up this thing where Bayley, was being double-crossed by Damage Control, blah, 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 and really didn't mean anything. The title itself is enough to have a feud about, right? And I say that to say this. Whatever happens with this Jade Cargill storyline, it's enough. Now, I told you I felt like they should have held on to the tag belts and face each other as champions. May the best woman win. Obviously, that's not going to happen. The only thing that's up in the air right now, was it Bianca on his Triple H 2002, or was it Naomi? And my thing is, if it was Naomi versus Jade at WrestleMania, number one, not sure I'm into that as much as I love them both. And number two, where does that leave Bianca?
It opens up several doors for women's matches. I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to throw in another weird one for you then. So you have a choice here then. If Rhea Ripley is in that match, do you do something with her, Liv, and Becky? Or what's the more appealing match? Is it Rhea in a triple threat? Is it Rhea versus Liv, or Rhea versus Becky?
I think Rhea versus Becky has a little bit more appeal. I don't think the alternative is that bad either. I think it's a win-win, honestly. I want to see some of these black sisters get an opportunity to main event, but at the same time, it's like I just don't think it's in the cards this year. Like I don't see where the Jades and the Naomis and the Biancas, as much as I love them, I don't know how they factor into the world championship picture at this particular moment in time, unless they win the Chamber or the Rumble.
And don't forget those mid-card titles too.
Well, it's hard. They're hard to remember. I'm already forgetting about them.
Well, one they haven't decided yet, and it'll be decided. What is that? In 2 weeks on Raw.
Conrad. One thing I'm not is a sexist. I love women, and I don't mean that in a crappy way. I mean that in a great way. I respect women. I respect my mother. I respect my lady. I respect women in general. But these titles, bro. Lila Valkyrie's probably going to win, right? Where do we go with the titles from here? Let's talk about that for a second. Where do these titles end up at WrestleMania? Are they going to be on the show? The actual show? Is it going to be Lyra Valkyrie defending the Intercontinental Championship against somebody?
I don't see where they fit. Because also, if we're talking about those belts, what about the tag titles? Where's DIY? Are we doing another ladder match? Now we're unifying the belts.
And you know what, Conrad? God bless you for being so kind and asking if they're going to do a ladder match, because there's no guarantee it's even going to be on the show. Don't forget about WrestleMania Smackdown.
If you just heard all the soul leave my body when he said that. Yeah. It makes you wonder. And then you still have people possibly debuting. The tease of Pentagon coming in. What's Pentagon going to do? I told you my idea for him. You have Pentagon come in. Dominic Mysterio starts his own faction, and Pentagon's part of it.
M. Leezy's making a joke talking about an 18 double tag title ladder match. Listen, man. I know he's joking around. Shout out to M. Leezy. That's probably what's going to happen. Matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. Probably going to be two of them. Two 14 tag team title ladder matches. One on each night.
Too
Book
much.
it.
Too much.
It is too much. It is too much. M. Leezy may have stumbled onto something, Conrad. I'm predicting it right now, and I'm dead serious. WrestleMania Night 1, WWE Tag Team Championship ladder match. WrestleMania Night 2, World Tag Team title ladder match.
While we're talking about it, where does this guy fit in? I know Jesse said... Jesse said something about maybe he's in the main event picture with Cody. I don't know if that's going to happen here. He's taking this title. He's walking around. He's doing great heel work. Are you going to crush this off immediately? Are you going to put him and Drew together as, like I said, the Bloodline Hunters? And then maybe you're hoping that they can recruit Seth later on?
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Kevin Owens should be the WWE World Heavyweight WWE Champion, undisputed champion. This stuff. We're going to look back on this Kevin Owens run, and it's going to be nothing. It's going to be like, yo, what was it all for? Kevin Owens not going to win the title. He's not. He's absolutely not. It's going to lead to a match, whether it be on January 6th or sometime thereafter, and it's going to be title, air quote for title, Winged Eagle versus WWE Championship. Cody's going to win. Cody's going to hold both titles over his head, and the Winged Eagle's going to go back into disappearance. This is all going to mean nothing, and it should mean everything, because Kevin Owens, damn it, deserves it. But he's not going to win it. No, he's not going to win it. And to answer your question, it's going to lead to a whole lot of nothing. Now, do I like the idea of a Seth and KO and Drew faction? Sounds pretty dope. But does that mean we're going to get the Bloodline Hunters versus the Bloodline at WrestleMania? Are we going to team everybody up?
And what would to me, the logical match for that would be, and man, Seth went from facing Punk to that. I don't know if that's the way for him. At least I don't know. But then he's going up against Sammy and the Usos. That's the best he got for them.
And let's call a spade too. my pick for the Royal Rumble with my heart, Jey Uso, is probably going to end up in a tag title match with his brother.
Yeah, if they wanted to go there.
If we're even fortunate enough for it to be a tag title match, it may just be Jimmy and Jay versus Solo and Jacob.
And we still didn't discuss the U.S. title, Logan Paul, the Intercontinental title. There's still other things that could play into factor. You got to show the book.
Easy, got where I was going. Nice.
Did I?
Nice, easy, nice.
That's Jay's match right there. Sammy and Jay versus Drew and KO.
You know what? Maybe so. Even though KO and the Usos are supposed to be cool, right? It's weird, bro. It's weird. And then where does that leave Sammy's in? Oh, you said Sammy.
Or Jimmy.
My fault. Where does that leave Jimmy? I was about to say, where does that leave Sammy? Where does that leave Jimmy?
Jimmy did a heck of a job in that War Games match.
And Jimmy, it seems like Jimmy's still on TV, even though it's taped. Jimmy was still attacking people with crutches.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we didn't mention the other parts of the bloodline. Jacob fought too.
I said Jacob. My prediction is Jacob and Solo versus the Usos. Which, by the way, is lazy booking.
Actually, you know what? You might be right with that, with Sammy in their corner too. Because then you could do... that's if you wanted to do that, though.
You know what it should be?
Actually, I could flip it, though, because I don't think that Solo... So I know I'm giving away predictions already for
listen, man.
Netflix
this
Raw.
This is your show. Have fun.
No, I am. But I think that they're going to kick Solo out of the group.
Oh, my God. You know, I should take back what I said about you having fun, because when you have fun, you don't make any sense. They're not kicking Solo out the bloodline, bro.
He always said, if you beat me for this, I will acknowledge you again. Once he goes to acknowledge him, Jacob's like, you know what? That's it. I'm done with this guy. Boom, get out of here. I'm rolling with Rock and the homies, and he'll be the surrogate for the Rock.
That leaves Solo with no home, bro. Where's
Solo? It doesn't. Solo does have a home.
The OGs?
He has to get his way back in with them. I'm telling you.
Easy. That the consortium, woo! The consortium was me, and now you and I. That's the part of Ric Flair will always love, but you can't ignore the stuff that's happened outside the ring.
Ric Flair's a fool either way
He
it
is.
goes. But
in the ring, on the microphone, one of the best of all time.
Where were we going with this? Oh, we were talking about Solo and them.
We're talking about Solo joining the OGs. I don't know, bro.
I can see it. I can see them trying to tell that story of he needs to find his way. He's got to figure it out. I'm not saying he'll be let in right away. It'll take its time.
That the consortium. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Hikuleo joins them, and then whoever the next family member to get brought up. I don't know if someone's in the ID program. Maybe it's Zilla. Maybe it's someone else in the mix already that we don't know about.
Be careful, brother. You got to be careful. We don't want. Well, I don't want to speak for you. I don't want another Mania after Mania letdown, bro. Let's call a spade a spade. As much as I like Solo as the leader of the new bloodline from April all the way up until like October was pretty bad, bro. Chat, let me know. Do y'all think? Okay, you know what? Maybe until Jacob showed up. Until Jacob showed up, it was kind of rough, bro.
Yo, I gotta read this next one after this.
Yeah.
Matt says, rumor Tribal Chief Championship. Do not do that. We do not need. I know they want to sell belts because people love the bloodline. People say, I got to get that Tribal Chief belt and all that. Don't do that, player.
That the consortium. I'm sorry, Conrad.
T. Ferg said our great grandkids are going to be discussing the bloodline 40 years from now.
That's a fact.
We just don't get tired of it, man. We just don't.
Okay, no, seriously. I think we need to dive into this. Shout out to T. Ferg. We need to talk. Look. All right, we're having a good show, man. We're just flowing with it. WrestleMania 40, as much as I think it was kind of like it could have been me and you out there, and it still would have been good because you had the whole Hall of Fame come out to the ring. So whatever. I digress. Was amazing. But Solo as the leader of the Bloodline did not work for a long time, bro. And question, did you think that him challenging Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam in the main event, did that work? Not really. You can't have we need a solid leader of the Bloodline, or we need to stop having two Bloodlines. You can't finish WrestleMania 41 with two Bloodlines. It has to end. You have to have it. I want it to end, period, but it has to be one. If it's going to be one, and it can't be 1,000 members, it should be Roman, the Usos, Sami Zayn, Jacob, Solo. I mean, even that, it's like you're pushing it, bro.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know how some stuff gets the pass and other stuff doesn't. The NWO started when? 1996. When were you tired of it? Honestly,
I was
in your head.
Honestly, well, you're asking the wrong person, bro, because I actually like the Wolfpack.
I did too.
Okay, so it was tiresome to me when they got back together the second time. When they got back together January 99.
Same. The finger poke of doom was what kind of where I was like, nah, you did too much here for me, guys. Yeah. I thought we were past this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. And I don't know why it was like that for a lot of people, but I tell people this. People give the pass. Shawn Michaels and Triple H did a similar match on Monday Night Raw. It was for the European title. That's different. It was still, they wasted 20 minutes of your time in the main event on Monday Night Raw.
There you go.
Just to be like, that's what you get, Sarge. Yeah. They walked around for 20 minutes doing that in Lowell, Massachusetts. I remember where it was. And they thought it was funny. Okay, great. Next week, you're going to face Owen Hart. And we're the only ones who can hear him say that. It's just like, all right. What was the difference between that and when Nash and them did it? Is the World Championship, did it mean that much back then that it made a difference?
Yeah, it's debatable.
It's just weird. They were both main event acts, so how is that okay? Like I said, I don't get sometimes the feeling of this. None of y'all are sick of the Bloodline yet? Like, that's my question to Bloodline fans.
It's a good question. It's a good question. The only reason, I mean, it's just me, Oos. Like, I love the guy, right? And I like Jimmy, and I like Sammy. So it's kind of like, and I like Roman. So it's like the OGs I'm cool with, but it's like the only guy in the I used to like Solo. The only guy in the new Bloodline I like is Jacob.
Jacob's the star out of that group, man. I think Hikuleo could help with the appearance of I almost called them God. Do they have a tag name? These guys, we'll say the Gorillas of Destiny. Yeah.
I love you, Solo.
I think that's why I think he's going to turn too. That's going to be the moment when he does it. I hate you so what? Boom, and he catches it. That's the moment. That's why they keep teasing that. Goosebumps, right?
That was pretty good.
Yes, I'm telling you. That's why. But I'm saying that's why he turns. Hikuleo joins the group, and they kind of become the rogue bad boys of the Bloodline. Like, nah, this is my group now.
But that's the same thing, bro.
That's know.
Like recycling that happened the week after WrestleMania 40.
Maybe you call them the Samoan Dynasty to move them away. I don't know, but you got to do something with those guys after the fact, and then. Honestly, I feel like they just become the dudes who eat pins for Jacob
right.
In the time being. Yeah, and people are agreeing with you about Solo. Hold on, let's just go through these real quick. Yep. Just change Raw's name to Moana 3. Come on now. War is Moana. Seriously, Solo as a Bloodline leader didn't work. He was cooked by Cody twice. Monday Night Moana. Y'all got to chill. No aura, somebody wrote. Roman beats Solo in the Tongans, and Jacob beats up Solo and acknowledges Roman. Then Roman turns on the OGs because he's never apologized to them, makes them his pawns, in my opinion, flipped. Oh, he's trying to flip the whole thing.
A double heel turn. Nice.
TK gets a lot of crap for his booking, but will pivot from time to time and listen to the fans. Can Bischoff say the same, or did he have to listen to Mr. Creative Control? Delay Gratz. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, brother. Thank you for coming in here. Appreciate you. Bloodline War Dogs. Yo, chill. Yeah. Watching the Bloodline storyline is like watching the cast of Saved by the Bell versus the cast of the new class. And we're supposed to believe the new class is a threat. I roll. Ooh.
I love the reference. And I agree. If you guys don't know what that is, look that up.
When I wake up in the morning. Mr. Belding. Zach, my office.
I love it. I like the ref, and it's a really good. Honestly, for people who don't know about that show, it's an old school show, but like that's a perfect analogy. It's like the new class is kind of like, yeah, it's Saved by the Bell, but
that was when they went to college, right?
Well, no, the new class was like still in high school. It was
that was when they replaced people, and then who was in there?
Streak was like the assistant principal.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't
work. And then they went to college, and it didn't work.
You try to use familiar faces, even though the other people grew up.
Yeah,
I get it. I feel the same with this. I just don't know if it's ever going to get the grief it deserves.
And honestly, to bring this back home again, bro, like, where does that leave? So, I mean, Solo, to me, it's almost a guarantee Solo's going to be in a tag match. It's almost a guarantee.
Right. And I'm not even saying you have to do it by Mania. You could hold off on it, too. The only time they know how to do themes right, too. Joe Compton says, happy holidays, EPW fan. Joe Compton, happy holidays, brother.
There you go.
We appreciate you. I grew up on Saved by the Bell. That was the show, right?
Yes, it was. Saturday mornings. That was the only real show. When I say real, I mean non-cartoon show on Saturday morning.
That's a fact, Jack. We're going to put a little caveat on this, and we are going to move into something else that has been near and dear to my heart, and I kind of want everyone to sound off on this. This might be something that changes pro wrestling as a whole, and you may not be thinking it now, but consider it, and you probably should be. Smackdown, going to 3 hours starting on January 3rd.
You are such a hater.
What?
You.
Why am I a hater?
Because you hate it.
I absolutely do. And I'm going to tell you why. But I think this could be a bad thing for pro wrestling overall, Sean.
Yep.
Because this is making 3 hours the norm.
Yes, it is. That's true.
Once again, can we go back in time? Mm-hmm. Rewind real quick. Rewind your noodles, people. Going back to Nitro going 3 hours, it was the biggest problem in the world. You should never do this. No wrestling show should ever be 3 hours. Now it's like flip, Sean. We hear from the younger generation, the people we talk to. No, they need the 3 hours now. They got so much talent. They need it. Does SmackDown need to be 3 hours, y'all? Raw's about to take all the heavy hitters. Listen, y'all want a bold prediction early?
Please.
This will not be on my card for next week. Gunther is going to have to lead the way on SmackDown with wrestling on Friday nights. Are you going to sit there for 3 hours on Friday nights? I feel like I'm at the point of I got to pick and choose my wrestling shows. When I started everything pro wrestling, I could literally cover everything in the world of pro wrestling and be fine. Now where we are with this, no. This should be sometimes pro wrestling because I can't cover all this.
You said sometimes pro wrestling. I think you're overthinking it, my brother. I respect where you're coming from.
Listen, it works for USA. I'm just thinking, are you not watering down your product? Who's going to be on this show, Sean? That Netflix isn't going to be like, I'm taking them.
Not just because I'm looking at the screen right now, but Tiffany Stratton will probably stay. Nia Jax will probably stay. I think after Roman Reigns defeats him on January 6th, Solo Sikoa will stay.
He'll stay on SmackDown? You're saying he's going to SmackDown?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
LA Knight. Now let me stray away from the picture because I'm cheating right now. Gunther, absolutely. The tag title division. Well, there's 2 tag titles. It's hard. I'd have to look at the entire roster. 2 hours is too short, bro. I understand where you're coming from, but it's like, to me, it's a lesser of two evils. Like, on one hand, 3 hours is too long. On the other hand, 2 hours is too short. So we have 2.5 hours, which is unrealistic. I think in this era, Conrad, of DVR, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. In this era of DVR, it doesn't make a difference because you can watch it the next morning. Do you know how many times I've watched SmackDown the next morning right before I watch college football? Almost every week. Almost every week I'm watching SmackDown at like 9 a.m. when I'm eating cereal. So it doesn't really matter.
I just fear, man. Like I said, who's gonna be on Raw? It's kind of known already, right? Cody's gonna go over there now. You're gonna have Punk. They're gonna want Rock when he's around. Are you gonna have Cena go back and forth? Okay, sure. Let's just say that for argument's sake, right? You want him on Raw sometimes.
I think Cena is a double show guy.
Roman's definitely going to be on Raw from now on moving forward. They have to sell this deal.
I think you're overthinking it this time, bro. I think the 3-hour thing with DVR makes a difference. I think the fact that DVR is a thing, it doesn't really matter. It does not really matter.
This draft does not really matter. Like this portal, all of that, then like what does it mean? Well, what does it mean?
If you want to talk about the draft, you're 100% right. And you might be, let me tell you something, you might be 100% right about 3-hour TV shows too. But I'm just saying again for the third time, bro, does it really matter? Do you watch SmackDown bell to bell? Do you watch Raw bell to bell? I don't.
If I'm at home and I'm watching it, yeah.
Oh, well, no. No, I don't. I'm watching on Friday night. I'm watching college football because Fox has Friday night football games. During baseball season, I'm watching the Mets. Tonight, I'm going to be watching Monday Night Football, and I'm going to DVR through Raw, too. Like, it doesn't really matter, bro. It doesn't really matter, but I'll tell you one thing.
I just don't think you have the star power for 3 hours. Is that better to say? Does that make more sense?
It does make sense, but it doesn't matter again because at the end of the day, maybe you can create stars by having more TV time. Listen, I'm not going to cap, bro. I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. I just watched Monday Night Raw last week, bell to bell. I did. I was like, it's over already. I was like, that was short. Like, wow, that was short. And on nights like last Friday, bro, chat, let me know, bro. Was that not one of the worst SmackDowns ever? That was horrible, bro. And I don't expect much better tonight. So here's my point, Conrad, Brother Cushman. That SmackDown that we saw last Friday, and odds are that's the Raw we're going to see tonight, I don't care if it was 1 hour, 2 hours, or 10 hours. It still sucked. Who cares?
Right. And what have I told you? Can we go back to, let's just say 2014?
Yes, sir.
Tell me your favorite 3-hour Raws that weren't within the last year.
I can't tell you that, but you know what I love about 3-hour Raws?
Well, let me do this, Sean. What's your favorite Raw from 1997?
I mean, there's when Brett lost the title to Sid before WrestleMania.
I'm sick and tired if it's what I am, McMahon.
Yeah, I mean that was cool. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, what's your point, brother?
How come we can rattle off stuff from 1999, 97, 96? But we can't remember the stuff from 2016.
You're not wrong. Look at me. Look directly at me.
I can't anymore. Like
you are not wrong. My counterpoint is simply this. It don't make no difference how long the show is if the show sucks anyway. Now, I will say this. Now, this is where I'm in the minority. Chat, I'm probably in the minority. Conrad, I'm probably in the minority. I like long, extended interview segments. I like seeing CM Punk and Seth Rollins across the ring talking crap with each other. I enjoy that. 3-hour shows leave more room for that. I'm okay with that. Now, if you're the type of person that doesn't enjoy that, you're not going to enjoy what I'm talking about. But if you enjoy the big stars talking crap to each other, you're going to like 3-hour Raws because let me ask you this. Do you have a problem seeing Seth Rollins and CM Punk take digs at each other for 20 minutes? I don't. I love it.
When it's good, yeah.
Okay.
Are you going to have that on SmackDown? See what I'm saying? Like, it depends on how you balance SmackDown. This could be god-awful. If it balances out the way it is now,
or
just like, here's Gunther.
In the words of our friend Quilly, atrocious.
I was going to say 2 packs of butt cheeks is what I'll say. Bad.
Last week's SmackDown was rough, bro.
Look at what E's telling you guys. Here's another thing. How are people supposed to check out Ring of Honor, Noah, TNA, New Japan, AEW, TNA, and NWA when WWE is choking them out? You ain't watching nothing but us. You're going to be tired of wrestling when we're done with you this week.
Shout out to MJB for that Oos reference. What E just said is very poignant. As I'm saying, that's kind of a slip. It doesn't make a difference, bro.
I think it does. I think it does.
It really doesn't.
Sean, are you watching NWA and MLW?
I watch NWA and MLW. Don't try and.
But I'm saying, on a week where it's like WrestleMania week, are you gonna watch all that?
Yes.
Are you gonna watch Saturday night's main event? So you're gonna watch 3 hours of SmackDown, wake up, and it's like, oh yes, there's a Saturday night's main event tonight. There's 2 more, and then they're like, next week on pay-per-view, we're gonna have the Royal Rumble here live in this city, and they're gonna just go nuts for you. You're like, yeah, that's a 4-hour extravaganza. Like, add it up.
When I get serious, I call you by your full government name, Conrad Aloysius Cushman.
That is not my middle name.
I know it's not your middle name at all, bro. DVR makes it okay. If you're telling, you have to put the caveat in there, bro. If you're saying that I have to watch everything live, okay, I agree with you. I'm not watching everything live, whether it's 2 hours, 1 hour, or 3 hours.
At that point, though, I'm ready to just skip.
That's what DVR is for.
Super chat, $5 super chat. Shout out to MJB in the place to be. He said, "Who's ready for more Samoans?"
I like that. Thank you for the super chat. It doesn't, guys. Chat. Tell Conrad. Do me a favor. Just put the old rock line. It doesn't matter. And the question is, does it really matter if there's? It doesn't really matter how long the show is if you have DVR. I say it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I'm telling you, Conrad. When we do our post talks in the morning while I'm watching Notre Dame football, I'm watching SmackDown. Or during the pregame show for college football, I'm watching SmackDown. So what difference does it make? It doesn't matter. Why are you so stuck on this? And you're not the only one. Why are you so stuck on this? It doesn't matter. DVR makes it no longer matter.
Hello, Terrell. Happy holidays, my friend.
Oh.
Welcome. He said, well, I mean, I think...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm watching it on Saturday morning anyway.
Why is this necessary? Why? Like, I mean, I guess USA needs to fill time with it and they paid them. But if that's the case, then why didn't you just do it before? Like, why haven't you been doing it since SmackDown moved to USA?
Can I answer you selfishly?
Go ahead.
It gives more time for Jey Uso to stand in the ring and let his music play for 5 minutes. It gives more time for us to see Seth Rollins and CM Punk talk trash to each other. It gives more time for more backstage segments. It gives more time. And if it sucks, hello, McFly, if it sucks, fast forward.
I guess it's how you DVR stuff and you get through. I like to watch it live, so maybe this is the difference between us.
Well, that's the difference between us because I couldn't watch WWE live if my life depended on it.
Yeah. Someone said bring back Saturday Morning Slam. Heck nah. Heck nah.
Who's watching WWE live in 2024?
Let me see here. AEW has its faults, but its opening 10 minutes are usually action-packed. I hate opening a show with promos. Oh, so you must hate the Attitude Era. If you smell.
There you go. But listen, Jen makes a good point. Jocelyn, makes a good point. Jocelyn says 4 a.m. comes quickly. If I get an hour of wrestling, I'm good. Sis, that's the point. What I'm gathering, Conrad, correct me, is that she's super busy. She has to get up early in the morning. But DVR makes it whenever. I didn't know when I was going to become a DVR advocate, but watch it whenever you like.
See, Vinny likes promos opening the show. I think this is coming down to different strokes of different folks. 28 minutes of talking to Open Up Raw a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's a problem too.
But it was good. See, Eve never gives me a break. But it was. Is he talking about the Seth and CM Punk segment?
Probably so.
That was good.
Can I flip it another way, though?
Sure.
When SmackDown was here in Buffalo, you got one match in the first hour of the show. What was that, bro? And it wasn't good. I was like, y'all sat there listening to all that talking that whole time? Did you realize you paid all that money for that ticket and you're just sitting there listening to talking?
2 questions for you. Modern era and Attitude Era. 2 most highest rated segments of those 2 eras. Modern, the one we're in now, and Attitude.
I couldn't tell you the one we're in now with the high. When you're saying, are we talking the Paul Levesque era? I didn't tell them to call it that.
No. Yeah, we're talking about right now. And we're talking about
Is it a Punk segment?
Nope.
Cody and Rock.
If you really think about it,
hit
you know it has to include
The Rock?
No, you don't have to include
Roman?
the Bloodline.
Bloodline, okay.
SmackDown, the night after, the weekend after Money in the Bank, when the Bloodline were in the ring for like 30 minutes. That was the number one ranked segment. And we all know the number one ranked segment from the Attitude Era was This Is Your Life, Mick Foley and The Rock. What does that tell you?
People happen to be turning the channel during that time. I don't think that Rock segment's like the greatest thing ever either.
People like when the wrestlers talk to each other, bro. I know I like a good match too, but sometimes you got to jazz it up a little, bro.
I don't mind it. I just don't like downplaying the wrestling that's supposed to go on as well. Does that make sense?
That does
I love CM Punk's one of my favorite wrestlers. I love talking when it's good, but it's not always like that. And sometimes I'm like, all right. And like I said, the Bloodline thing, I can understand anyone who's throwing their hands up. They're like, enough. Enough's enough with this.
Joe, I appreciate you 100%. And Easy E, good job. And great question by Vinny. And I know he's being sarcastic. God bless him. And I agree with you 100%.
I'm jumping through this. Hold on. The next one from Vinny. Good segments. DVR lets you skip stuff. Filler.
Yep.
Back in my day, there was no DVR. You watch live throughout, especially when it sucks, a chore. But now being able to watch and skip all the commercials, it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter anymore. Thank you, my man.
I don't know how y'all can skip commercials. Maybe you guys have a traditional DVR player.
Yeah, I don't know what traditional DVR is.
I have like I have Hulu. And
no. You can skip. Just skip.
Yeah, you have to go to like My Hub, and then when you do it though, you still get those commercials. Like you ain't skipping them commercials; they paid for them.
This is DVR through my cable carrier.
Yeah,
but the question that Vinny asked, he was being a little sarcastic. Not really normal for my guy Vinny to be sarcastic. I love it. He says, "Would you rather watch a big star cut a promo for 20 minutes, or would you rather watch a mid-carder wrestle for 20 minutes?"
I mean, if it's Rey Mysterio and Dean Malenko, that's different than.
Oh my goodness!
No. I'm just saying
you're being a little bit nitpicky now.
No. You asked the question, right?
That's true.
People who are never going to get a chance. Give me my Chris Jericho Rey Mysterio match. Okay. Why not? How does that hurt? Then at the 9 o'clock hour, when I know to turn to WWF, here comes Hogan. But I would turn every time as soon as I saw the NWO coming out and the papers were falling. I'm like, yep, I'm out, bro. Goodbye. Click. I never liked Hogan though, for the record. But
right.
I'm like, I'm out, bro. Like this is whack. Is he gonna see Ultimate Warrior in the mirror? Oh no! Like, all right.
No, your point is strong. I'm just trying to say, and my guy Derek, God bless him, he says 3 hours of cinema, that's all it needs to be, no wrestling. That's where no, I'm not going that far, bro. What I'm trying to say is watching Jimmy and Jay come out after they beat Roman and Solo after Money in the Bank, and then seeing them get attacked and seeing them talk back and forth and seeing the crowd go crazy. And by the way, I was there. It was freaking awesome, bro. It was awesome. CM Punk, I'm saying the same example again. CM Punk and Seth Rollins talking crap to each other is entertaining. Well, am I the only one who feels this way?
Jocelyn said y'all got DVR money.
It's included in my carriers. I have no money extra. No, but seriously, am I the only one who feels this way?
No, I think it's a mix of people though, because Derek's just like, oh no. Here, I think me and Derek are on the train of stop this cinema talk every time like the lights dim and here's a segment. I'm like, oh my good, here it comes. In all caps on Twitter, we know who I'm talking about, are gonna post, this is the best thing ever. And we're just like, dude, okay, but where's the match? Where's Montez Ford? Where is the mid card? Like people forget them.
No, your point is strong. I'm just saying, like, you know.
Bret Hart gave Eric a gift with them El Dandy promos. You need both. Is what I'm saying. You need good promos. Wow, I think we veered off into a good little side subject here, though. Not mad at this. Not mad at it. I'm going to keep it moving.
The best in the world at what we do.
Real quick, Rampage says goodbye. Final episode of Rampage is going to air this week. So if you're ready to say goodbye to Rampage, it's time. And I'm not mad that Rampage is gone. Like... do you guys want to know the honest truth? Tony Khan never wanted to do that show. I'm whispering it because you're not supposed to know that. He wanted the money because TNT offered him the money. So he took it. But yeah, he was like, okay, cool, we'll do that show. Collision was needed because of the Punk stuff. and the issues that came from the fallout of that, because they probably wanted to keep Punk. Punk didn't want to be there anymore. But with Rampage, it's okay. Like they produced it like it was an old Saturday night's main event. The main event went on first, and then if you stuck through the show, great. If you didn't, okay. So I'm not mad at it. 3 hours of SmackDown would surely eat into this, so it's probably a good time to skedaddle. Not gonna lie.
I like the idea of Rampage going away. I just hope it doesn't represent something bad happening. I hope they're just doing it because they feel like it's the best thing to do.
What do you mean by something bad happening?
That the ratings are bad.
I would say they weren't probably up to par, but it's on a Friday night. I think Collision needs to get off of the Saturday too.
Agreed. I'm just hoping that it's not. I mean, if they're doing it because they just want to make a shift and make a slight adjustment, I'm cool with that. I just hope it doesn't, because I'm an AEW fan. I want it to succeed.
Hold on here. We're getting some questions back. Pushback. What do you remember more on Raw or SmackDown? A good promo or a good match? Both.
It's tough.
Both.
Bro. Like
I remember. Do you remember Neville versus Seth Rollins? I remember that match where he hooked the leg and his foot landed on the rope. I remember that stuff. I don't know about y'all, but I do. I'm like, that was a good match. Sami Zayn versus John Cena, open US. I'm bringing up random ones because I don't want to use main events for the example.
No, you can use main events, and I can give you main event type promos that blow it away. Like when Mike Tyson joined DX. Like, that was awesome. That was freaking awesome.
Back then, you ruined it.
I'm saying, but like, think about that, bro. There's not anything that could have. That was awesome. Like, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels promos. Like, the WrestleMania match was the greatest thing I've ever saw. But like, I'm talking about on Raw, Michaels and Taker talking to each other was the highlight of the night, bro. How many times has the highlight of the night been a contract signing? Batista turning on Triple H. It's freaking awesome, bro. Like, you're telling me you don't have time for that? Even last week on AEW, Adam Cole and MJF at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
I won't tell you what the people were saying about that. They weren't feeling it. It sounded like
I got nothing but feedback, but okay, fair enough.
He said, "Give me dark." Yeah, I like. See, it depends on if you like that stuff. Delay Grant comes and he says, "You both make excellent points. I watch WWE segments on YouTube and social media, and I watch AEW live mostly because I like actual matches." That's true.
Delay Grant, I feel you 100%, but the question is this, bro, and I appreciate you acknowledging both points. Rock, Mankind. This Is Your Life, 1999. Look it up in the archives. Is the greatest segment in WWE history from viewership. You watch that and you tell me if there's any match on free television that you think is better than that. And I know there's a lot of matches that are really good. You know why? Because to me, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, and I'm not a Triple H fan. Shawn Michaels Triple H 2003. For the World Championship at the end of the year was amazing. But it wasn't better than some of the best. Promos are what wrestling's all about, bro.
E says, this is all from the negotiation contracts with Warner. It wasn't just canceled, by the way, which is true because if Warner's having the money issues that they are, they probably couldn't afford 3 shows.
Yeah.
If Tony wanted more money for that, then sorry. We're cutting back then. I remember promos more than matches, and Joe has a $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. I remember more promos than I do matches. Promos are how stories get advanced.
And if anybody thinks, thank you guys for the comments. And if anybody thinks that I'm being kind of like swaying the fence because I'm going way back to the 90s, hello, the Bloodline? Do I really need to open up that orange again? The Bloodline? Jay turning on Roman? Jimmy turning on Roman, even though that happened at the pay-per-view. But Jay turning on Roman on SmackDown? The comedy with Sami Zayn, the handshakes, the Solo Sikoa thing going back and forth. That was freaking awesome. You couldn't, if your life depended on it, tell me anything else that happened on those shows than that. And it had nothing to do with wrestling. Not one thing.
Goes back to our other point, though. When do you get sick of it?
Never.
I'm talking about with the same group, the same.
Oh, the bloodline thing, yeah, of course.
Yeah, when are we gonna say this is tired, y'all? But
there's only one thing that would make it worthwhile to get it is if they acknowledge Jay as a tribal chief.
Moving through this as quickly as possible. Ring of Honor. Here's the look of the Hammerstein Ballroom for the ROH pay-per-view final battle. Thought it looked great. I do miss those dingy yellow walls though. The beige yellow. I don't even know what color that was. It was just like, ugh. But it always reminded me of the shows.
That picture just warmed my heart. That was absolutely beautiful to see.
Any thoughts on this card real quick? Like, I enjoyed the show overall. I know a lot of people always say like, man, this ROH card doesn't really look like much. Bro, we got Black Machismo. TNA lives, baby. Like, Black Machismo came out and QT came out like NWO Macho Man. Karen Jarrett was scary Karen. Yeah, like, come on. They had good matches up and down the card. Gates of Agony won a match. You don't see that ever on TV.
And by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 matches, 12 matches. Amazing.
They fit a lot in. Athena. Now, I saw people complain about the Jericho thing. I could understand that. And Bandito knocked himself out. He accidentally kicked Big Bill a little below the belt. Big Bill didn't seem happy, but the man was concussed at the same time. And, yeah, that turned out to be what it was. Nigel McGuinness wrestled Lee Moriarty. Commander gets the television championship. I told y'all Commander was going to get that on Dynamite review, by the way. Commander deserved that championship. And Athena retained over Billy Starks. I did not see that coming. Did not. Broke my heart when she hit that finish, the O-face.
I was wrong about Athena. That's all I'm going to say. I was wrong. She is spectacular.
Oh, Danhausen came back. Thank you, Clown. Great to see Danhausen back. Weird to see Blake without the contracts and the writing on his body. Yeah. Man, everyone's getting into a super philosophical discussion about wrestling in there. I love it.
Listen, man, this is what it's all about, man. Yeah, like, I mean, can I go back there again, bro? Like, was Timeless Tony Storm not some of the best stuff you've ever seen?
It is. To me, it's both, Sean. Like, I think you can't discount the people who like the matches too, because I love the stories within a match. Like, that can be beautifully told. Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, you didn't have to get on a microphone to say, "I'm sorry, I love you." Boom! He ended his like hero's career. That was beautifully done.
Conrad, you're telling me that the "I'm sorry," which by the way was amazing. You're saying the "I'm sorry, I love you" comment was better than Old Yeller?
I personally preferred that over.
Bro, he said he was Old Yeller and he was going to take him behind the barn and take him out of his misery. Are you kidding me?
They love that, dog. Don't act like I don't know the promo. I do. Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was great.
Oh, Conrad, you're making me mad.
Wait a minute. Time out, though. But that was the capsule piece to it, though. It's like graduating. It's like the final project. Like, that Sean put that stamp on it, and you knew then. Like, that was what Sean never hated him, but he talked like he did because he had to let him know, like, dude, I'm going to end you. Like, I'm the best ever.
Absolutely. But we're talking about, but see, the thing is, though, you're being unfair. The reason why you're being unfair by accident. You're talking about what happened at WrestleMania. We're talking about free television. Free television. There's nothing on that show when Shawn Michaels said he's going to take him in the back of the barn and take him out of his misery. There was nothing on that show better than that night. There was nothing on that show, Vinny, better that night than Triple H coming out at Madison. You know what Triple H did that night? Nothing. But jump on the ropes and pedigree Kurt Angle. That's all he did. The whole night. It was freaking awesome. And I hate saying anything is freaking awesome when I'm talking about Paul Levesque, but that was freaking awesome. Do you remember that Booker T faced Edge the second match of the night? No.
I do. It was for the shampoo commercial.
That was the WrestleMania match.
Oh, well, we don't. Yeah. Don't get me started on these lazy Raws. That's my point before as well. That no one cares like they used to.
I'm just saying, 3 hour paper, 3 hour Raws give room for. Go ahead, bro.
But isn't it fair too though when me and E get geeked because we're about to see Shibata versus Dynamite Kid?
There's nothing wrong with that. I love. What have I always said about AEW? AEW is the best belt about action in the world. And if I'm calling that out, that means it means something to me. But at the end of the day, Vinny's on fire, bro. John Cena debuting on Chris Jericho's show in 2005. Do you remember anything else about that night?
Yeah, that's when he turned on the people of culture that he used to appropriate himself. Yeah, I said it. Don't get me started, bro. I hate some of this stuff too. Yeah.
I'm just
hip hop. I stole everything from G Unit. Then I became a Marine because Vince told me to. Get out of here.
All right, that's a different conversation that I agree with for another day. But that was the best part of the show.
I can't repeat that, MJ.
My guy Derek once again says WWE isn't wrestling. We have to watch hit or miss promos for 3 hours. No, bro, you got your
no. But his misses are true too. The misses are true too for some people. It's not. We're bringing up the good ones. There've been tons of, hey, how'd you learn how to lose weight in 30 days? Click, goodbye.
Listen, and you're right, Jesse, a Pro Wrestling Truth. There's nothing wrong with liking what we like. I agree. But let's talk about it, bro. Vinny is on fire, bro. Undertaker returns on SmackDown. Undertaker and Triple H return in 2000.
Which one?
Undertaker, Triple H in 2011. They didn't even say anything. Conrad.
Yeah, they made you think it was Sting. That's what they did. Goodbye. There's disappointments with this too. See, people don't want to remember. Remember it's Sting. It's got to be Sting. Triple H. Oh man. And not to say it wasn't a good match, but it was just like. So we're gonna act like WrestleMania 17 never happened. I've never faced you at WrestleMania. I remember. I watched it, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna tell my friend Mark in the same promos where they make fun of us. Yeah, I agree with E on that too. I hate when they do that.
Oh, Eazy-E Cherry. I thought Eazy was being fair tonight. Eazy-E's Cherry.
No, Hubbs. That was an insult. No. Hubs, when that show was bad, that was an insult to fans. I'm going to call my friend Mark and we're going to tweet about it.
No. I'm talking about his comment about terrible authority promos. That
was the promo he's talking about. Remember, we're going to make change. And then Triple H made that joke about we're going to tell my friend Mark. We're telling you we don't like it and you're going to make jokes about us? Like, I don't know. Listen, some people are very forgiving. Big Daddy Kush ain't gonna be forgiven to you all the time. I remember that promo. It was disrespectful, and a lot of people turned the channel after that happened. Well, listen, let's get into this real quick.
Chris Jericho's debut on Raw.
And they promptly put him right where he was going after that Road Dogg match because you're not getting in on my fun.
You're changing the subject. All right, let's move on.
No, I'm not. Because what did that mean then? What did that promo mean if I'm watching it to Chris Jericho after he just went toe-to-toe with The Rock?
What was my point, Conrad? You're talking about the importance of promos is what I was talking about. We're talking about, no, you know what we're talking about? We know what we're talking about? I'm going to correct myself. What we were talking about was 3-hour shows and what can be put on 3-hour shows to make it interesting. It ain't gonna be
a Chris Jericho promo. I bet you ain't gonna be that again.
And I'm an advocate of promos on Vinny again.
E again. See? Shamrock and Jericho down the tubes. What happened to that?
That's cherry picking, bro.
No.
Anyway, you know what cherry picking means. Cherry picking means like you're just picking out one little thing. Right. But
right. Because we're picking out what happened after the promo. Like, oh, I'm jazzed. Oh, you messed it up. Like, okay, I get it.
Vinny, the Austin Beer Rock McMahon.
I wonder why they didn't screw that one up. You better not.
Kurt, they actually remixed it. And Kurt Angle came out with a milk truck 2 years later. What are we even talking about? This is not even a debate, bro. We're talking about free television. We're not talking about pay-per-view. You're not going to switch the narrative on me, Conrad, and talk about Shawn Michaels super kicking Ric Flair and saying he loves him at the same time.
No, because that does play to my point about why matches are important and matches are memorable. Matches
That's a WrestleMania match.
Okay, Shelton Benjamin, Shawn Michaels on Raw. You don't remember that super kick? I still hear people talk about it.
That's the exception to the rule.
Okay.
The rule. You're
What's
gonna pick out Shelton versus. Okay, you know
what? All right. Yo, by the way, me and Sean may have to schedule doing World's End preview predictions another day because we're running out of time. Yeah. Oh, was Chavo Guerrero not getting GTS into the Gulf of Mexico not good enough for people? That was fun. That was good.
Come on, bro.
There's some bad promos, too. I haven't taken it to task yet.
Shawn Michaels coming off from under the casket and super kicking Undertaker in the face?
JBL at the border? Okay. I have points, too.
Okay. Triple H bringing out X-Pac to join DX.
Couldn't cut the mustard. I know.
Don't you do that. I'm not a Triple H fan, but that was freaking awesome.
You look to your friends. You look to the guys who got you with the McMahons.
See what you're doing? I'm not a big fan of Triple H, but that was freaking awesome, bro.
That was good. It was fine. You got the New Age Outlaws.
That promo and him reinvigorating DX later that night during the cage match is the most influential. Vinny again! Rock Hogan WrestleMania 18. Are you kidding me? Are you even kidding me right now?
That match was buns. Watch it on mute. Look at it. Pretend there's no commentary and no one talking.
I don't know if you're doing this on purpose. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. You're my brother. You're switching the narrative. We're talking about when Rock and Hogan.
Can we acknowledge what E said?
On Raw.
Can we acknowledge what E said then?
Okay, but there's exceptions to every rule, bro.
But this is checkmark for your checkmark, though. This was good. This is bad.
No way. There's no. Oh, so what we're gonna do is This is the key. This is the key to my argument that you're not understanding. The people at Easy are not understanding. I'm saying that the best promo of the night can probably outshine the best match of the night on a particular Raw. The Mexicools will never have the best promo of the night.
Because you're not showcasing them in the best light. Let them go rip it up. No, you got 7 minutes, kid. What am I supposed to do?
The Randy Orton Triple H saga leading up to WrestleMania was better than the WrestleMania match. It wasn't even close. What are you laughing at? I'm serious.
I'm at your house. Okay, buddy.
That wasn't better than the match itself. That WrestleMania main event of 25 sucked, bro.
The punt kick at WrestleMania 24 was better than that match itself.
Okay, well, we agree on that.
Yeah, but I don't remember any I guess. Well, are those those are interview segments, I guess.
You don't remember him kissing Stephanie in the mouth? You don't remember him DDTing Stephanie? You don't remember Randy Orton kicking Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon and Corey McMahon and Linda McMahon in the head?
Where did it? But Sean, for some of you, got to admit too. Conrad's like, well, where did this go? Like Shane didn't even play a factor.
No, I am not going to let you do this, brother. We are talking about this conversation started. We were talking about long 3-hour Monday Night Raws, and we were talking about what kind of material would make a 3-hour Raw watchable.
Wait a minute. No. That was not what I said, though. My point was, what have you remembered about the 3-hour Raw since 2016?
That's where the conversation evolved into. I agree.
Right. We've talked about This Is Your Life. We've talked about DX.
I've named, between me, Vinny, and M. Leezy, I've named about a dozen moments.
Where are the 2016 moments? This is a new WWE. You ain't kissing people on the mouth.
Bryan returning as general manager.
You finally got one. Thank you, WWE, because he threatened to leave. You know what I mean? Thank you. I mean, I'm not wrong.
Shane McMahon returning.
Thanks, Pop. Give me a hug. Yes, finally. I needed you.
You're not being fair.
Why is he not there now?
But that's not the conversation we're having, Conrad. You know what you're doing? Listen.
Wait a minute. No. Listen to me. Go back to my matches then.
You're making correct points about the wrong subject. WWE sucked in 2016. No argument there.
No, 16 wasn't bad. It was 17, I'd say.
17, well, 18, 19, the whole thing.
After WrestleMania 33 is my point.
The Usos forfeiting their part in the turmoil match to give Kofi Kingston the title shot was more entertaining than the whole match.
I think our points are going to be this. I like wrestling. I like wrestling matches. You could tell stories within wrestling matches. That's just as fine. That's just as good as telling stories in promos. Just as good, in my opinion.
That's debatable, but okay.
They're equal, because if you do it well, you can do it. How did WCW go on for all these years, people? We're not going to pretend like they were out there, I can't believe you got my daughter. That wasn't what WCW was doing. They were out there, Ric Flair, I'm coming for the World Heavyweight Championship, if you will, baby. I'm going to be out there. Dusty could sell it with a promo, but people remember, man, I was there for the bunkhouse brawl in 1988 where the Horsemen took on Dusty.
But the reason why I'm saying your argument is unfair. The conversation we're having is about promos versus matches on free television. You can't compare Starrcade to WCW Saturday Night, bro. It's not a fair comparison. We're talking about, do we value more a 5-star match on Raw, or do we value more on Raw or SmackDown or Nitro or Collision a better promo? What leaves a lasting effect on free television? If you compare Rock Hogan, bad example because you don't like Rock Hogan, but I like Rock Hogan. If you compare Rock Hogan WrestleMania 18 to anything, but Rock getting run over by a tractor trailer in an ambulance, you're telling me that wasn't memorable?
Not a scratch on me.
I can see by your face you disagree.
I thought it was a little much.
Okay.
Cinder Block 2. Take it easy. Right in the knee. I'm not mad at it, but I was just dude.
That's a good argument, bro.
It is. I see people thinking that we're mad. We're not mad.
No, we're not mad. No, this is my brother, man. We're having fun.
But I do think that pro wrestling is an important part of it. And I think we've gotten away from it because I feel like there's this idea that whatever WWE has done has become, this is what pro wrestling is. And that's been for the last, oh my goodness, 35 years, 38 years, 40 years. Like, this is what pro wrestling is. And I get it. People will say, well, that's what works. Well, no one else is ever going to rise. If this is the only way that works, then no one else will ever rise against this. So
to bring it full circle, we disagree about the fact that we can just DVR through it. It's not that big of a deal, or
I think it's more difficult for me. But like you said, your DVR allows you to skip through. I can't skip through commercials, so I'm stuck sitting there for like 3 minutes sometimes, having to wait for the next segment to pop up. I don't get to skip those commercials. You will eat those. Have fun. Hulu getting paid.
Right, I feel you.
Right. I won't say anything. I'm going to end this show peacefully because Raw's on now.
No, we're having fun, man. Listen, me and Conrad.
No, I have a counterpoint to Vinny's thing, but I'll be quiet for right now.
I mean, you can say, if people want to check out, we're having fun. Everybody's here unless they want to leave. We love our viewers. What's the point? Real fast.
No, it was he put up the thing about Cena and Taker. Where did that go, though?
Right. No,
I get it.
Nowhere.
Come here, brother. You're one of the guys. They were about to fire him. What was the point? These good promos, I'm just saying is, it was fun, but then what? Half of them, I'm like, guys, you do know what was going to happen, right?
If your argument is that WWE does some good promos that lead to nothing, then I wouldn't even have a leg to stand on.
Right. That's what I'm saying, though, with the promos sometimes. I'm like, what did this lead to? At least with the Rock, we can say Rock and Sock connection. Okay, cool. I can't really argue that.
Right.
Hogan got his cross torn off and he was bleeding in the match with Andre. Yeah. It's okay, I get it, bro. Right. I understand the importance of Piper's Pit and all that stuff. You're bleeding. You're bleeding. What do you say, Hulk? I remember this. Guys, don't think I hate promos. I love promos. The New Day one, I'm not going to forget that. I'm not. But at the same time, you guys are well, who remembers matches? I remember matches too. There are people out there like that. Like, I remember a good match. I remember a banger. Dude, I remember Blitzkrieg. People don't remember Blitzkrieg. I'm like, no, that Blitzkrieg was the man. Super Gallo.
Here's the thing. When I think about some of the greatest matches of all time, pay-per-view comes to my mind. Like, what immediately? Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Halloween Havoc. Undertaker, Triple H. Undertaker Triple H 2, 27. Undertaker HBK, 25. But it's like you have Shelton Benjamin HBK on Raw. All right. You have HBK versus Triple H December 2003. Okay. But it's kind of like it's not many 5-star classics that pop into. I remember Mr. Perfect versus Ric Flair 1993 on Raw. But you know what I remember more? I remember Razor Ramon turning babyface by telling Ted DiBiase he's not going to clean his toilets.
But couldn't that be because you remember the long-term person?
Yeah, touche.
Yeah. You know what? I say we finish through this. Do you want to do the World's End now?
Yeah, man.
Let's do it. Fun. Yeah, we're better than Raw. So anyway, let's go with it. And we're better than those promos. All right, so World's End. They're going to be an Edition Financial Arena, or is it Edition Arena Financial? I don't know how you say it, but they're going to be in Orlando.
Edition
all right,
Financial Arena.
Sean, I know you're not a fan of this show. Is it because of the Continental Classic? Is that a hamperer for you? See, here we go again. Mm-hmm. Conrad loves the Continental Classic. Do you know why? Because in New Japan, I don't know the promos. I can't understand them really, right? They go in there. If someone interprets it for me, great. I get it.
Yes, sir.
I love the promo, though, because the story is within the bracket. Mm-hmm. The bracket tells you, and I'm going to bring it up when we get to it, but I just wanted your overall thoughts about this show and this card real quick.
I think you saying that I don't like the show, and by the way, I understand why you're saying that because I haven't really been over the moon about it.
I also listened to past episodes, so that's where I got that from.
No, but I never said I didn't like the show. I said those words.
Care to make a wager on that?
What I said? Tell me what I said.
You said I'm not a big fan of how they have this World's End show set up.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't think it's a bad show, but I am not a big fan. That's accurate. But you can't be mad at Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. You can't be mad about Okada versus Ricochet, right? There is a story that's involved in the Fatal 4-Way for the world title. MJF and Adam Cole is a story. I think Mercedes Moné is the best women's wrestler in the world, or top 3 or 4. So I'm cool with it. Like, I just don't think it's a banger. But then again, it could be.
Right. E brings up King of the Ring. That's another pay-per-view that it was about the story. If you do it right, there's a story that flows from the tournament. Bret Hart's my favorite example. He faces Razor Ramon, a bigger competitor. Razor stomps on his fingers. Then he comes out with his fingers taped up. He's going against his arch nemesis, Mr. Perfect, after that. Mr. Perfect takes it to him. He finds a way to skate by him. Now he's beaten down. He doesn't even come out in the jacket anymore. He doesn't even have the glasses. He's just like this. And he's like, oh, it's Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam's fresh as a daisy because Lex Luger and Tatanka both got eliminated. Bam Bam Bigelow goes out there, and he's got Bret all the way. At one point, didn't they tease Bam Bam getting the pinfall in it?
Yes, he did.
Bam gets the win. Bret wins beautifully with the victory roll. He sneaks out a victory after being the former World Wrestling Federation champion. It's lovely. Now, I know what you're about to say. If it's about this Jerry Lawler crap. Because no. You know why you remember that more? Because that's what they played more, because Jerry still worked at the company instead of telling the story about the tournament, which I think is more beautiful than the whole Jerry Lawler 3-year feud.
I'm glad you know where I was going.
Yeah, it ain't working. So, yeah, you can play that. He hit him with the scepter and all that afterwards. Whack. Yeah, I didn't like that. I thought it was whack, kind of.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, I wasn't a big Jerry guy back then. Like,
neither was I. Never really was. Saying most memorable moment of the night besides Hogan losing the title.
See, I thought it was the tournament, but
okay, fair enough.
That's me. See what I'm saying? Maybe it's just, odd couple. Let's get into this and go through it. So I told you, a lot of people seem like they're having a hard time digesting this. We got MJF versus Adam Cole for the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring. I don't know if people care about the Diamond Ring. Cole's been hurt for a long time. They're making fun of him. MJF's leaning into it. MJF doesn't feel like a top heel, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, and I kind of agree. He doesn't feel like, I think Christian's over him right now. There's a lot of people over him. Moxley as a top heel.
Get ready for an OD cop-out answer. Something's missing, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah. And do people care enough about the ring? To me, MJF's ring is his gimmick.
Oh, the ring is an afterthought.
Yeah, but I think it's a nice thing to enhance him at this point. Like, he might as well keep it.
It's a title.
Right. But does it mean anything if Cole has it? Who cares?
No, but it's starting to mean less and less because only MJF has it. You see what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you about the Adam Cole part, but if MJF is the only one who ever has it, does that mean...
Are we giving it to DDP and the Diamond Doll?
Well, DDP lost it to Johnny B. Bad, didn't he?
Yeah, he also lost his girl to Johnny B. Bad too. But
it was a bigger prize, right?
Her name's Kimberly. So
no, but seriously, look, the bottom line is the ring doesn't really mean much to me. Adam Cole versus MJF means something to me, but how it plays out is going to make a determination of how it's going to go moving forward. I think the best way, and my prediction is that MJF wins with the help of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, or MJF wins. Maybe Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are not involved, but maybe MJF wins with the help of Roger Strong.
Could be, or what about Wardlow? I don't know if Wardlow's ready to come back. I know he's injured.
Wardlow off my television.
I like Wardlow.
I respect what you feel. I respect your opinion. I've never been a fan of Wardlow, and I never will unless he has a character change.
And we know that from last year as well.
Yes,
I was, like I said, I went back through.
Yes, sir.
Mariah May and Thunder Rosa. Tijuana Street Fight.
Love Mariah Rosa. Love Thunder Rosa. Follows me on Twitter. God bless her. Appreciate her. She's not going to win this match. For storyline progression, it has to be Mariah May. I'm happy with that because I hope that Toni Storm gets it back. Not really sure how they're going with this amnesia character that Toni Storm has. I hope they play it out right. But as far as this match specifically, Thunder Rosa will not be victorious.
Facts. Deanna said Wardlow helping MJF doesn't make sense. At this point, does this story make sense, Deanna? We're just trying to get out of this bad boy unscathed.
I think the other members of the Undisputed Kingdom turning on Adam Cole would make more sense.
To join MJF or just to turn on Adam Cole?
I mean, if they joined them, that'd be fine too. But just more specifically, them turning on Adam Cole.
Yeah, because I don't think MJF needs them.
My only issue is that if they don't join MJF, where do they go?
Touche.
Matter of fact, one person out of everybody I mentioned, I forgot one person. What if Kyle O'Reilly plays a factor?
He could, which leads into what Adam Cole does next. I say give MJF the win, and I'm with you on Mariah May. We got Konosuke Takeshita versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm torn here because I like both of these guys a lot, and I do think both deserve more, but not everyone needs to have the championship. So who needs it more right now?
This is typical Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. I want Powerhouse Hobbs to win this match. I do not think it will happen. I think Powerhouse Hobbs deserves a win. I think Powerhouse Hobbs have earned a win, but I do not think he gets it. Just like Jey Uso will not win the Royal Rumble, Powerhouse Hobbs will not be the international champion.
And I don't want that to be a slight on Konosuke either, though. I think Konosuke's done a great job with the belt. He's defended it everywhere. He's doing good stuff. I just think it's the case of two guys deserve it, but only one guy can walk out. And I think you preserve the history of what you've been doing with Konosuke.
I hear you, but you know how I am about resumes, and you know how I feel about people who earn something to be added to their resume.
I have a long-term plan that'll make sense next week with that championship too.
Right. Remember what I said about that. I'm going to do a Hubbonomics about that. Resumes should matter.
They should. TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander 2. I feel like you kind of may have to pull the trigger here.
Absolutely not.
And give it to Chris Statlander.
Absolutely not. I can disagree with you more. I understand your logic, but absolutely not. With the role that Mercedes Moné has gone on, there's no place that she should lose this title anytime soon other than maybe somebody coming that's going to shock the world. Maybe a title for title, maybe with the world champion. Chris Statlander should not win this belt, and she will not.
I feel like she gave her a good match. Who else do you got right now unless you got someone coming in?
Matter of fact, you have more people in the TBS division, in my opinion, than you do in the world title division. You need to switch it over, make it work, but Chris Statlander is not it. I never thought she was her. She's not her. Chris Statlander shouldn't have beat Jade Cargill. They should have went a different direction. I don't know what they see in this girl. I've never seen it, and just like I came around with Athena, I'm not coming around with Chris. I do not see it.
Let's see here. We got, I think, Taven and Bennett turn, which could lead to Cole. Yep, good point. I love Thunder, but Mariah's winning it. I hope Tony Khan gets detailed about how he signed New Jack before his passing. Did that happen? I did not know that, MJB. No, this story, unless it leads to Strong and Kyle getting back together, Power Hobbs, because if Konosuke isn't winning at Wrestle Kingdom. Ooh, good point. Because his title should be on the line. Takeshita, only because it's not time for Hobbs to win yet. Statlander, Matt says. The only way Cole and MJF feud gets interesting is if Britt Baker and MJF team up to cost Cole the match. Don't sleep on Penelope Ford. Facts. Facts. Let's talk about this tournament here. So we are going to get the semifinals and the finals match at World's End.
Easiest thing ever, brother. Easiest predictions ever.
All right. Well, here, let's take a look here. Darby Allin still has to face Ricochet. Claudio has to face Commander. Ospreay needs to guarantee himself a win over Brody King to tie with Claudio and anyone else who has 9. And Ricochet. I don't know.
All those scenarios that you just pointed out, I have a question.
That's only the Gold League scenarios.
Right. What I'm saying is, does Will Ospreay and Ricochet need to win their matches in order to move on?
2 people move on from each league. So it's the winner and the runner-up. The runner-up will face the winner of the Blue League, and the Gold League winner will face the runner-up in the Blue League.
I'm guaranteeing that Ospreay and Ricochet win. They're on a collision course.
It could be.
That's a guarantee.
Well,
guarantee. Will Ospreay wins, Ricochet wins. Guarantee.
Okada and Fletcher are my choices here.
Wow.
Or at least for the Blue League. The Blue League seems more like you can level this up and figure it out what to do here. Garcia could win too, though. He could sneak in there real quick. If he gets a win and Fletcher loses, that's 10 points for him, 10 points for Okada. See, this is why I love this, though. There's scenarios now like, oh, wait, I need this to happen for this to happen. So it makes it interesting.
I think it's a foregone conclusion with the title match being down the line in the same night. Ricochet,
Beast Mortos and Commander won't be in these matches, I'll tell you that.
Ricochet advances. Ospreay advances. Triple threat. 100%.
I don't know. See, Darby took a mean L. See, Darby beat Ospreay. By the way, best TV match, I think, of the year for AEW. Like, holy smokes.
That was fire. I agree.
Yeah, you can go a lot of ways with this. I feel like, here's what I think. Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay are going to face each other. Okada could face whomever from this side, whether it's Darby or Claudio. Maybe Darby and Okada. Okada beats him, and then you get Will Ospreay and Okada for the finals because certified banger match every time. So
yeah, no argument there.
Let them work. That's my prediction for it. Okada wins the whole thing in the end, in my opinion.
I actually think that Ricochet becomes the new champion.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I think he's a man with he's a man with I'm not happy about it because I think he sucks on the microphone. But I think this is their way of giving him a chance.
Hold on now. I'm going to use something you said against you now. I'm going to come back to you. Sure. Is it not working?
It's working.
He got toilet paper thrown at him. I just heard people, oh, he sucks. Rico, you know, what they call him, and they threw toilet paper at. It's working, bro.
If his job is to make people annoyed, then he's doing a great job.
Can I tell you something? Do you know how many people I had to explain the aha thing to? And I'm like, do you guys not listen to Jadakiss? This has been around since like 2004, even before that.
I don't know why anybody wouldn't know that reference, but okay.
Because they don't listen to hip hop.
Right.
So I had to explain it to people. I'm like, no, it matters. Monet versus Camille is the match I want. I think people are seeing the holes poked in Camille's game. I don't know. I don't know if they go back to it.
Has she been seen since she quit?
No, she got taken out backstage.
Wow. See, okay.
So I don't know if they're happy. If Konosuke Takeshita is the international championship, then his match with Shingo is title versus title. Could be.
Yeah, I think for that reason, that's why Powerhouse might win.
Ospreay needs a win, Claudio loss, and Ricochet and Darby a draw. Ooh, see? So Ospreay needs all that to happen, which is possible with the time limits. Yeah. Okada versus Garcia could happen. Okada wins, then here comes Battle Cry plays. Ricochet, aka they were calling him 2-ply Scorpio. That's messed up. 2-ply Scorpio.
Everybody, here comes 2-ply Scorpio.
Yeah. Going to school with that, right? The American males. That's what people remember. not the 10 times.
American Male.
I know Jimmy Hart wrote that. I could just tell. I could tell. Main event time, Sean. Jon Moxley, Adam Page, Orange Cassidy, Jay White. I feel like no one in their hearts of hearts believes Jon Moxley is losing this title, right? I don't. That's my prediction.
I don't either. And that is mainly why I feel like this card is like, I hate main events that are so predictable, bro.
This guy. Let me ask you this, though. I'm going to flip it back, though. Have you seen the trailer for what sells this show?
I believe so, but remind me.
They're in the car. Moxley gets out with the
phone.
Yeah,
totally.
M. Leasy believes that there's something to that because they keep showing it and they keep saying everything changes. Is it the new TV deal? Is that just what they're alluding to, or is there something here?
Coming, but it better be good.
I hope so. I told him I'm bracing myself. Like, I don't think something's happening.
See, this is the problem with a match like this, bro.
I expect the least.
As you should. You know why? Because you're less disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
With a match like this, you need a debut. See, to me, when you have Moxley, Orange, Hangman, and White, and when everybody pretty much knows Moxley's going to win, to me, okay, Moxley wins and here comes Shane. Or Moxley wins and here comes Edge. You need a main event after the main event.
I think Copeland returns on that Fight for the Fallen show, though.
Okay.
If you saw FTR's promo, we're not coming alone.
Gotcha.
North Carolina guys, they're all down there now, and they're the ones who probably organized the whole thing.
Well, Shane McMahon is the outside the box, probably unlikely scenario, but we need something. We need for me to be right, which is that somebody is working with Jon Moxley.
Which could be, like I said, I've kind of pushed away from that more and more lately.
I know you have, which scares me because if you're right and this is all there is, it's kind of like, okay.
Thought you meant Shane McMahon. Sign point and sign. This is where I'm going. Rated R FTR could be.
If you're right, matter of fact, I'll ask you this question: would you be happy if you were right? That there's nobody coming. That there's no higher power.
I don't think you can go all the way to all in.
Power is what they called it in WWE.
Yeah. No, you had to write higher power.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It depends on what the problem is. What is the story you're trying to tell here in the long run? I don't think it's been kind of revealed to us. I know it ends with Darby, but where? When? Like, I think if you don't have Shane or anything, okay, do it at Revolution. Why wait? You know what I mean? Like, make that happen.
I mean, the good part is that it's not like, Adam Cole being the devil, right? It's like there are more than one option. CM Punk was who we're talking about. There is more than one option for this Moxley thing to make sense. But it has to be Shane or Jon Moxley. I mean, it has to be Shane or Adam Copeland. What are other viable names? Maybe it's Kenny Omega.
I don't think so. I don't know if we're ready for Kenny to come back. Kenny's got scores to settle too. Unfortunately, we're probably going to get a Jack Perry, Kenny Omega pay-per-view.
MJB in the place to be. It's me, Austin.
Horrible reveal, by the way. Horrible. I was so disappointed that night. I was like, what?
It was me all along, Austin.
Crying over that bear. I was tight. Guys, Christmas, we won't be live here on Everything Pro Wrestling, but these are the matches you can expect on Dynamite. I think they're going to be some certified bangers. You guys gave me the night off, which I appreciate. I'll be sipping on some eggnog or probably eating lasagna or something, but I hope you guys enjoy the show. Tony Storm's going to rock on against Taya Valkyrie, Commander versus Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia versus Kyle Fletcher, Darby Allin versus Ricochet, Will Ospreay versus Brody King, which I have heard is a really, really good match on the card, and Shelton Benjamin versus Kazuchika Okada. Who would have thunk it? Shelton Benjamin's having a phenomenal year, by the way.
Yep, Tony Storm in action. Hopefully she'll remember.
I want to say this, and then I'm going to kick it to Sean for Sean's going to talk about what we're doing on January 6th. Mm-hmm. I really had a bad joke there, but I stopped myself from saying it. I'm cracking myself up. So anyway, Guys, the EPW Awards, they're coming up. I want to let Worlds End be like the last thing where I can add something to it, but basically the awards are done. As soon as you guys get it, take it as quickly as possible. Share it with friends, please. I just want as many opinions on this as possible. Whether it's your favorite thing was a promo, maybe your favorite thing was a match, maybe your favorite thing was this superstar, that wrestler, that whatever. Go in there and tell us who's your favorite wrestling promotion. What is your favorite wrestling promotion? Who's the breakout star of the year? We want to hear all that stuff from you guys. So I will have that by next week's show when we record it. Next week's the prediction show. I've got mine lined up. I don't know if Sean's still working on his, but I can't wait. And then we'll go through last year's to see what we got right and what we got wrong.
Yes, sir.
But Sean, let them know about what we're doing here for in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Next week we'll be here right here, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time with the predictions. It'll be same EPW class time, same EPW class channel, 6:05 next week. In 2 weeks, January 6th, the same night as the debut edition of Raw on Netflix, Conrad and I will be doing something special for you guys. We will not be coming to you live 6:05 on January 6th. We will be coming to you guys live 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, as we will be doing a Monday Night Raw debut on Netflix watch along. That's right, guys. Watch along. 8 o'clock, January 6th. Mark your calendar. It'll be myself and Conrad and you doing a live watch along of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. So you'll get all of our immediate reactions. We will get your immediate reactions. It'll be a whole lot of fun. So make sure you mark your calendars down right now. Monday, December 30th, 6:05, right here on Everything Pro Wrestling channel for Clash of the Podcast for the prediction show. But on Monday, January 6th, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for a live watch along of the debut edition of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. We'll be watching right along with you live and in living color.
Love it. And as Shane said, shout out to Shane, man. I know he helps run his watch alongs on Tazzy's channel. Everybody hit that like button, please. Appreciate you. My son's birthday is January 1st. Happy birthday to your son. Happy early birthday.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Remind us next week and we'll shout him out again.
Yes.
Byron Cutler, my prediction for 2025 is we are going to get an Evolution 2 PLE. Save that for next week, Byron. I want to hear all of them next week. You guys better bring all the smoke next week.
And typically I don't do social media shout-outs, but if you do have a moment, follow me on TikTok. I've been really active on TikTok, especially recently. The tag is the same now, Hub W Weekly. A lot of fun stuff. I do everything from all sport, obviously mostly combat sports and pro wrestling. But today I put up a really fun post about Shannon Sharp on First Take. You never know what you're going to get. So follow me on TikTok. It's a lot of fun. And follow Conrad on TikTok as well.
I don't post as much on there like I used to. Me and Sean probably should do some like little mini clips on there.
We should.
Honestly, I'll talk to you after this.
Yeah.
Sean, take us out of here, brother.
Yeah, man, this was a really long, and I mean long in a good way, though. We had a lot of fun, and I think you guys had a lot of fun with us, too. You stuck with us, and we appreciate that. We don't usually go this late, but it's really exciting to see that you guys rocked out with us. We want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. We will see you guys on December 30th. It's going to be a lot of good stuff coming up. We got a lot of wrestling on deck, and I think Conrad and I are going to even talk about possibly doing a post-game show for World's End. We're not confirming that as of yet, but it's on the table. Remember, next week, 6:05, normal time, right here on Monday, and then January 6th, live watch along at 8 o'clock. So on behalf of my good friend and tag team partner, the one and only Conrad Cushman, my name is Sean Hubbard. We wish you nothing but the best during this holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and all that good stuff. God bless, be encouraged, and always remember, evil, it never prevails. God bless you.